interior workers and groundskeepers with great benefits, competitive pay, and flexible hours. Apply online at rsdmo.org/jobs. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Our forecast calls for a 50% chance of rain to continue today into this evening, an overnight low around 56. Mostly cloudy tomorrow with an afternoon high around 70. At 7 minutes past 3 o'clock, we have cloudy skies, some scattered rain, 74 degrees at the Gold Tower at Westport. Steve Potter, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
Mike Lippert here for Lisi Lumber, a family-owned company that's been serving the area since 1872. You've heard McGraw mention our knowledgeable staff, excellent customer service, and the best of woods. We're now producing and delivering custom prefabricated trellises, pavilions, and pergolas. Union-made, union-delivered. Homeowners and do-it-yourselfers are going to love these. Got an idea? Send a sketch and some dimensions and we'll take care of the rest. For the best of woods and prefabricated outdoor dreams, call Lisi Lumber 234-0105 or LisiLumber.com.
If it's time to replace your windows and doors, choose Pella Windows and Doors of St. Louis. Pella's trusted local experts work in your area and within your budget, backed by the most preferred window and door brand by homeowners. For a limited time, get 20% off Pella projects. Call 833-87-PELLA or visit Pella.com/radio. Restrictions apply. See site for details. Study of homeowner perceptions of leading national brands. Study commissioned by Pella 2023.
Whatever we do today, let's keep in mind the men and women of our military, whether currently serving or a veteran. They risk their lives to help make our freedom possible. We must never forget our military protectors. This salute is courtesy of Man Meats Barbecue Restaurant, family owned and operated by Father Bob, wife Holly, and daughter Miranda, for the best smoked meats, including brisket, pulled pork shank, all homemade. They started from a Ford truck and are now a full restaurant. Visit them online at manmeats.com and like them on Facebook. They're saluting our troops and veterans.
What have we learned about Heidi?
But cockroaches were the least of her problems. Heidi had to fight for every opportunity.
You know, Heidi is, even though she's very kind of sweet and innocent,
Heidi wanted out of the slum, and her agent wasn't doing enough.
Oh my God, they moved Heidi right next to me now.
Although Heidi seems serene,
she's a bit naughty.
she uses an ancient folk remedy to help calm her down.
Heidi is back.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. Heidi Glaus here with Josh Gilbert, Bob Ramsey. Much easier commute than yesterday. It looks like maybe the rain is not quite as crazy. I think we got 6 inches of rain at our house, which was absolutely nuts. And, of course, had to mop up a little bit in the basement because if you live in St. Louis and you don't have a leaky basement,
it's a miracle.
It's definitely a miracle. It takes a lot to get water in ours, but nonetheless, let me tell you what we have coming up on this Tuesday afternoon. First up, we got an interview with the authors of a brand new book, Big Fan, 2 friends, 82,490 miles, and the wild, wonderful sports we love. Joe Posnanski and Mike Schur are going to be at the Clark Family Branch Wednesday night, but first they are going to join us for a conversation, and I think it's going to be a fun one because if you don't know, Joe has written, 7 best-selling books. You've got Mike, who created Parks and Rec and is a producer on Hacks and wrote for The Office and The Good Place. I mean, just 2 really brilliant guys. So that's coming up at 3:30. We'll check in with Don Mahalik, ABC law enforcement contributor, get the latest on that shooting at the San Diego Islamic Center, and what does Don see as kind of, some things that maybe could have been done differently, or what did they do really well? I've read that one of the shooter's mom actually called law enforcement and said, my son is not home. He took my car. He has weapons, and I think she found some writings and tried to warn the officers, but I don't know, if it was just too little, too late. So that's coming up a little bit later in the 3 o'clock. In the 4, as we do on Tuesdays, we'll talk to Erik Siemers, editor of the St. Louis Business Journal, and he's covering quite a few stories. My favorite, BB's Jazz, Blues, and Soups coming back. Have you guys ever been there when it was open? It closed in, 23? In all your years, you've never listened to any music there?
No.
Wow. Okay.
I've been there. What was the one that was across the street?
That was
open air.
Beale on Broadway.
Beale on Broadway. That was really cool to go to after a Cardinal game because the weather was typically insanely nice.
Yes.
And it was outside.
And Kim Massey was there.
And she was there all the time.
On Tuesdays and Thursdays. It was her kind of house. But BB's is also super cool and actually used to have great food. So we'll talk to Erik about that. We'll check in with Royal Oaks, ABC News legal analyst, on the legal challenges that are now facing this $1.776 fund. Billion fund. Then in the 5 o'clock, we'll check in with the state government reporter for Nexstar network of stations. You can see him on Fox 2 here in St. Louis, but Missouri legislature wrapped up their annual General Assembly. So what passed, what didn't, what do we need to know? And one more thing we have in the 5 o'clock, which is going to be a lot of fun, I think. We've got 3 stars from MJ the Musical, which opens at the Fox tonight. I saw it when it passed through last time, and it is, if you like Michael Jackson's movie, it is a must because you kind of have some flashbacks of him when he was little and the Jackson 5, and then you have all the hits, and it's just a fun show.
Yeah, it sounds great. I hope I get to see it.
Yeah. So that, a few other entertainment stories, and then we'll wrap this show up with some randoms. I just saw, and I thought this was kind of crazy. When's the last time you have actually dined in at a Pizza Hut? Because we have gotten it either delivered or when we've been on the road. Once we were on the road to Nashville and we ordered ahead and picked it up as we continued.
48 years.
Really? That's the last time?
Yeah.
Okay.
We used to go to the Pizza Hut. What is that? Is that Drosty? When I was in college.
Okay.
We'd go hang at the Pizza Hut.
Well, I guess they're trying to bring some of that nostalgia back. The red cups.
Yeah.
When you see one of those red cups,
those
don't you
red
immediately
cups.
think of Pizza
Yes,
Hut?
that's a Pizza Hut cup.
What about the chandeliers that would hang over? Or the way that the pepper shakes and the Parmesan were in that metal thing with the red, and then you had the red candle burning.
Yes.
So when did those go? Full disclosure.
You don't like it.
I
know.
don't care for Pizza Hut. I think it's at the very bottom when it comes to pizza.
Oh, I wouldn't put it at the bottom.
But it didn't used to be.
No.
In the 70s, it wasn't.
Godfather's used to be my go-to.
Godfather's.
Yeah, how about that?
Oh, my gosh.
Well, prior to that, it was
Are those
Shakey's.
still around? Shakey's?
Shakey's Pizza was great.
The last time I went to an indoor Pizza Hut was a 7th grade trip to Jeff City. We took the train from Kirkwood and went to Jeff City and went to see the Capitol. We went to the Missouri Department of Transportation and watched a video on highway safety. It was pretty exciting.
Scintillating.
What year was this?
I don't know, 7th grade, so
Okay.
94. And then we ate at a Pizza Hut and then got back on the train and came home. It was a great trip. And those lamps, that you called them chandeliers, they're like Tiffany lamps, right? Is that what you call those things?
No, that is
The
definitely not
stained
Tiffany glass.
I know, but with the stained glass and the everything, it's the style, right? Tiffany style
Trying
lamp.
to recall.
I don't think they're called. Are they? You guys
I think
correct
they're called
me.
Tiffany lamps.
Anyway, that was the thing. But so you've been there. What about you, Heidi? When the most recent time?
Recent,
20, 30 years ago, probably.
probably. We've gone in to pick up, but to sit down.
Been a long time, which is
Yeah.
we're probably fairly representative of the pizza buying public.
Yes.
And so they decided to make a change. Back.
To the old days.
The good old days.
So I just thought it was kind of interesting. Pizza Hut here in Festus is one of the only ones around with a salad bar. Somebody else saying, I miss a salad bar and sit down video games. That I mean,
yeah, the tabletop video
yeah.
games.
And it just seems like every pizza joint had video games.
Okay, you could buy a Pizza Hut lamp, but apparently, what year is this? 2023, they had a bucket hat that was done up to look like the lamp.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess you could
How
wear
cool.
wear the lampshade. Do you see it, Bob? You could wear the
That's
lamp.
hilarious.
They say they're also going to feature the red booth backs, accented with retro photographs throughout the dining room. And of
Awesome.
course, they're bringing back the salad bar.
I love it.
I wonder these days, where do the kids go after school to hang out?
Starbucks.
Ugh, they don't have pizza there.
Well, I mean, I know that that's where a lot of, as far as girls, high school girls, they want their coffee. I don't know
feel
about
like
other things.
Kids used to leave school and they would go to the pizza parlor and hang out and share a pie, or to the burger joint or whatever, the Parkmore Bob. But those places don't really exist anymore. And how many times do you see a place that's carry out only? It seems like the banks now just have a whole storefronts of just ATMs.
I went into the bank today.
One with an actual teller.
Absolutely.
Well,
They weren't happy to see you, were they?
And you know what? They were, and I had to stand in the line. So I know you don't think anybody goes to a bank, and I know a lot of them have closed, but it's graduation season.
Oh, and you need actual cash.
Yeah,
You
need cash.
a $100 bill
Well,
Right.
rather than 520s
she's-
from the machine.
Heidi and Marcia do $500 bills.
Oh, big rollers.
Yes.
Do they still make a $500 bill?
Heidi?
Was
I have no idea.
was
Oh.
Grant on it, or who's on the 50? 50's
I don't know that
probably
I've
Grant.
ever received a $500 bill. Here's something else that I thought, I saw this and I'm like, you know what? This all makes sense. Have you ever noticed, and I've got 5 of these, malls don't have windows?
Yeah.
That you don't realize it's getting dark outside. You really have no idea what time it is.
It's like a casino.
That's exactly right. Bars rarely put up a clock.
I never noticed that.
So you kind of lose track of time,
time.
and hours
I'll have one
without
more,
knowing
please.
it. Yes. Supermarkets place milk in the back corner because it's one of the things that everybody
Always.
grabs, and you have to walk past dozens of aisles and end up buying more
Yep.
as you're
impulse
getting
buying.
there. Mm-hmm.
I've always noticed it's in the back, but I never really considered why.
Why? I
But that
didn't
makes
either.
sense.
Fast food restaurants typically use upbeat, fast music so you eat quicker and leave sooner.
Get the heck out of there.
So the next customer can get
Turn
in
over
and
the table.
get your seat. And then cafes play slow, relaxing music so you stay longer, maybe order.
a second
Yes.
cup.
So everything is intentional.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
All right. Well, if Pizza Hut really does this, are you going to go back in?
I would just for the heck of it,
Really?
just once. Yes, to check it out.
I do like a good salad bar. You know where
Now,
we
see,
used
I
to
don't
go?
do that.
You don't do that? Why not?
Everybody touching that.
germs?
Yes. Gross.
Oh, for crying out loud.
What,
I mean,
do you
just
think they went away during COVID for no reason at all?
no, but COVID's gone.
And other germs are too?
Look, Heidi, if you put yourself in a bubble, you're not going to get the
Hold
good
on.
germs.
Remind me again, who's usually sick in this office?
Well, I have a son, and
Well, and he goes to salad bars.
yeah,
and
he's
so,
all the time.
Right.
When it was my turn to pick a birthday dinner when I was a kid, I'd always go to Shoney's because they had a salad bar.
Really?
And typically, if you were part of the Shoney Bear Club, they'd send you a little, 3x5 or 5x7 postcards. Who sends those anymore? In the mail, and they gave you a free dinner. Mom
Whoa.
and Dad had to pay for themselves,
Wow.
and my brother and sister, but my $5.99 kids meal was on the house. What happened to Shoney's? Does that still exist? I feel like sometimes when you're on a road trip,
You run into
you're
one.
driving down the highway, and is that a Shoney's?
Yeah, there are very few, but yes. Susan says she misses Shakey's Pizza.
Yeah, Shakey's.
Our now go-to Bacardi's or Shotzi's. I do love Bacardi's. Somebody else said, I use 3 banks. They all have tellers. What back alley bank are you going to, Josh?
No, there was a.
Oh, it's a
there's-
guy, and he's out of his trunk.
There was it was a Bank of America, and it was next to the bagel place, on Olive, the bagel place that Carney sent me to on that fool's errand. And they only took cash at the bagel place. So he goes, well, there's a bank next door. And I said, oh, okay. And I walked next door, and it's just a room with like 9 ATMs.
And no people.
/ teller machines. No people. And I guess if you hit a button, somebody pops up on camera. But I told you one time I went to my bank, and they came up on the screen, and they were like, hi, how's it going? I was on the Rock Road. I was like, great. I got some things I need to do, but a quick question. Are you here right now in this building? And she said, no, I'm actually in Overland.
Mm-hmm.
It's like just so weird to me.
My 2 banks aren't like that at all.
There's people.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Where do you bank?
I'll tell you off the air.
Oh,
You may do your own thing, but you might want to consider. I like people interaction.
People? Well, I'm sure I can find one branch that actually has a person in it.
All right.
By the way, the $500 bill has McKinley on it.
Bill McKinley.
William McKinley.
Bill.
And since 1969, banks are required to send $500 bills to the U.S. Department of Treasury for destruction.
Oh, they're getting rid of them.
Well, since 1969. So I'm imagining
maybe there's none left.
They've gotten rid of them.
They're going to have to bring them back with inflation. Pretty soon they'll be like 5s.
Yeah. I only got 500s. Can anyone break this?
Since we're getting to the nitty gritty, I have one more question for you before we get to our first interview. Do you lock your bathroom door?
No.
Even if guests are over? Does it? I never do.
My brother doesn't close.
I was going to say I don't always close ours either.
Well, my bathroom is upstairs down the hall, in the bedroom to the left. It's like a maze to get there. So
nobody's going to find you.
I would close the bedroom door if there are guests,
but not.
But otherwise, no.
Yeah.
When I have people over, yes, I lock the door.
You lock it.
If people are over?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Up in your bedroom or downstairs you're talking about?
Downstairs. I think
downstairs I would close and lock it, but I almost always got to have my comfort zone.
You know what? We have a lot of people over for Christmas and Thanksgiving, and I will go upstairs for added privacy, and I will close the bedroom door.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I do.
Yeah, but I don't lock the bedroom door.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
You need double?
No. I won't close the bathroom door, but I'll close the bedroom door to say, don't come in here at all. And then if I hear the door open, then you swing it.
Yeah, but the kids,
try to kick it close.
The kids have some rules about what can be done in their bathroom and what needs to be done downstairs so as not to tie up their bathroom.
Yes, that makes sense. 34% of people say they always lock the bathroom door. 32% lock it if they have guests over, and 21% say they never do. And that's, I guess, me.
Yeah, me too.
Never.
Not my master bedroom bathroom. No.
I don't even do the hallway. I mean, I guess.
What if you're at someone's house? So, like, I'm over at my in-laws for Christmas.
I would lock it if
Easter.
I'm at someone else's house, not
I'm in
mine.
the bathroom right off the kitchen.
But you're probably there, and there's a lot of people and activity, so you don't want that to be. Yeah, that
definitely I do when I'm somewhere else, just not in my house.
Yeah, hang on. What if you have the same number of people over to your house?
It doesn't.
You won't lock it.
But we go up to our own bedroom, though. That's different.
Okay.
And maybe this is odd, too, our bathroom door is typically open. We don't leave it shut.
No, we don't
even
either.
when guests are there. So if the door is shut, I just assume someone is in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you lock the door to your house while you're there?
Yes.
Really?
I didn't used to, but then when I have other people
you
that
live in a cul-de-sac, Bob.
But I have in the country, where often you can hear in the valley machine gun fire.
Well, they're at the firing range.
No, they're at their house.
Oh, at their house. Okay.
Yeah.
It's very comforting. No, yes, I didn't used to when I lived alone, but when you have other people that are your responsibility, yes.
So you will leave here at 6, drive home, get home at 6:30, and when you walk into your house, you get your keys out because the door's locked.
No, I go through the garage.
Through the garage. Okay. But then you close the garage.
Which is unusual for you.
Because I don't use my garage.
Right.
Correct.
No, Jen and the kids always close I kind of leave the garage open.
Okay.
Come on, try me.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Inviting people
No,
in.
I just, that's what I do.
Heidi lives in the city, and I'm not going to be one of those people and say, well, Heidi lives in the city, so she has to. Yeah. But I get it. I get it a little bit.
My mom locks her door in Baldwin even when she knows I'm on my way.
There'll be times where I'm up in bed, about to fall asleep, and I don't know if I locked the door.
You
I'll
have
go
a
down.
child. That needs to change.
Well, it's like last year when I had that accidental home invasion. I can't understand why the door wasn't locked. It's always locked, but that one time it wasn't.
It's
Inside
just
job, Bob.
it's one of those things. The one time that
Yes.
you don't.
Oh, I get it. I get it.
You're just willing to take that risk and
At
don't
night,
care.
I lock the door every time. I try to make sure I lock it every time. But
You just
when
said you were laying in bed and wondered, is that door locked? Is that not night?
Sometimes you forget. You think that my wife did it, or whatever.
Right.
Did I do it? Let me get up and do it.
Right.
I got up the other night because I heard the wind howling, and I remembered I left the. Thank you, Bob, for the sound effects. I left the umbrella up and open.
Oh, that's a dangerous
I've
one.
had that
on the outdoor table.
Usually I get up out of bed to do it after it's already been knocked over.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, if I
Gotta
don't
go.
do this,
Right.
and then now I'm on the hook for another umbrella.
Right.
But if I go home from work tonight and I walk into my house, I'm not locking the door behind me.
No, it's pretty much habitual.
Well, now you're scaring me.
I think you should
But something
be.
bad's going to happen.
It's just an easy flick of the wrist.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Kind of surprised that you don't.
Somebody said, what if you're working in the yard and going in and out? Well, no, you're not going to lock the door.
Usually if I'm working in the yard, I'm getting yard tools out of the garage door's open, and I'm in and out that way.
But the front
and then
door's
through
locked.
the mudroom. Yes.
And
all the time.
Yes.
Mine is too.
Wow.
And my parents are as well. My sister's is, and her garage door is always down, and she's in Ellisville in a beautiful neighborhood.
Southern Illinois, we don't always lock our door overnight. I'm in the Metro East, and I never lock my door.
Yeah.
And somebody said the unmanned Bank of Americas are now gone. There was one on Telegraph, but so people probably complained.
Demands. You might have tipped the scales.
Yeah, you're right.
I went to a Bank of America today.
Today, and there was tellers there.
Yes.
Well, they must have heard from the masses.
You think that
We
that's
hate
what it
this.
is? Well, I'll tell you this. If you are looking to stay cool this summer, Indoor Comfort is the team that you need to turn to. Indoor Comfort Team has remained locally family-owned and independent since the beginning in 1979, and now they're serving the community for 47 continuous years. You know how hard it is to run a business, but do you know how hard it is to keep a business running and running strong for 47 years? The other thing that I just learned that I did not realize, a lot of these HVAC companies have been bought up by private equity groups. And so you're not even getting someone local. This at Indoor Comfort Team, we're talking local people and real people, not AI. The people working there and the people who own it, they're your neighbors. They're serving this community with old school honesty and integrity, and they want to host you at their house to make sure that everything runs right when it comes to your air conditioning, when it comes to your heater, which, cross fingers, we don't have to use that anymore. But when they come into your house, you are treated like family and friends. It's not just some other person coming in. Heating and cooling is obviously a pretty expensive industry, and you really need to have people trained. So if you're looking for HVAC services that you can trust, Indoor Comfort Team will work hard to maintain fair and reasonable pricing for everyday working families, which I think is also fantastic. You can give them a call at 314-894-8200. Get them out there and have them just give you a look. Is everything ready to run? They also will do a free second opinion. If you haven't already, take a look at Indoor Comfort Team Heating and Air Conditioning. As I mentioned, they're local. They're offering some fantastic promotions right now, like that free second opinion. There's also $2,000 off a new Train system with no interest financing. So give them a call at 314-894-8200. 894-8200, or you can go online, indoorcomfortteam.com. It is 3:32. Let's get to Captain Paul, see how traffic's moving.
Heidi, a crash on 64 East before McKnight is causing a bumper-to-bumper jam back to Lindbergh. Estimated clearance time is 4:05. That has 64 West congested from 170 to McKnight. 70 West is busy from TR Hughes to Route K. 64 West is slow between Kings Highway and McCausland, and the signals are on flash at Page and Grand in North City. This traffic report is brought to you by the Rack House in Cottleville. Stop by for brunch or happy hour, or have the Rack House cater your next event with box lunches or buffets to accommodate groups of 10 to 200 people. The Rack House, featuring a seasonal menu and upscale casual dining and drinks since 2014. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Don't miss a day filled with fun and educational activities for the entire family at the Two Rivers Family Fishing Fair, Saturday, June 6th from 10 to 4 at Pierre Marquette State Park, just past Grafton, Illinois.
There's an amazing 4,000-gallon mobile aquarium on site with fish species found in the Illinois and Mississippi rivers. The kiddos can enjoy a catch-and-release bluegill pond, the one cast station where everyone wins a prize, and a bow fishing station where children can shoot moving targets. Appearances from Hall of Fame fisherman Jimmy Houston and Tim Garrity, the mountain man from Duck Dynasty. Live music throughout the day and food and drink available for purchase. Admission and parking are free, and no fishing license or fishing gear is needed.
That's the Two Rivers Family Fishing Fair, Saturday, June 6th at Pierre Marquette State Park near Grafton. For more info, call 618-786-3323 or visit dnr.illinois.gov.
Look at our alums, the contributions that they have made throughout industries in the St. Louis region.
Terry Freerks, a graduate of the University of Missouri, St. Louis.
UMSL is embedded in the fabric of the St. Louis community. We're hands-on, and when our students graduate, they are definitely career ready, but maybe more importantly, they're career confident.
More is what moves us. Find your more at more.umsl.edu.
It's that time of year. The kids are home. It's time for spring flowers, fresh mowed lawns, summer sports, and the ongoing question,
Mom, what's for dinner?
Why not let Gingham's Restaurant handle that for you? Whether it's a great breakfast, lunch while you're out, a hearty home-style dinner, or a late-night snack, Gingham's is open 24 hours a day. And don't forget dessert. Start the summer off right with Gingham's Restaurant in St. Charles, 636-946-0266 or ginghamsrestaurant.com.
Prestige Pools and Spas is St. Louis's most award-winning pool company, family-owned for over 40 years. Their in-ground pool, swim spa, and hot tub experts can make your dreams a reality. This Memorial Day, Prestige Pools and Spas salutes all the U.S. servicemen and women who made the ultimate sacrifice for our country.
The Frank and Jill Show.
It's Jill Farmer on the next Frank and Jill Show. Heather Sullivan, the consumer reporter at KMOV, with some news you can use. Plus, Sarah Fensky with hot headlines, and Ryan Raphael answers your Medicare questions.
Frank Cusimano and Jill Farmer, weekdays 10 to noon. Right here on KTRS, the talk of St. Louis. You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Wednesday night, St. Louis County Library is hosting a special event with acclaimed sports writer Joe Pasnecki and award-winning TV producer and writer Mike Schur to discuss their new book, Big Fan. It is so nice of you guys to join us. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
So, first of all, how did you guys become friends?
Joe should tell this story.
Yeah. So Mike, in the long ago days of vlogs, back when he was before he even created Parks and Recreation, he and a bunch of friends used to do a blog called Fire Joe Morgan, which was essentially a good chance for those guys anonymously, for themselves, by the way, they never expected anybody else to read it, to just kind of rip sports writers who threw out a whole bunch of purple prose out there. And they wrote one. Mike wrote a very, very funny one about somebody I knew, and I did something I never do. I actually emailed him. I didn't even know it was Mike, and said, "Hey, listen, I just want you to know I read what you wrote. It's really, really funny. I know the guy that did it, and he totally deserved it. And secondly, please don't ever do this to me, because if I won't leave. I have no self-esteem. I will not be able to leave the house if you ever do this to me." And Mike wrote back and said, "No, actually, I'm a huge fan of your work, and we should get together." And that was almost 20 years ago. And,
Wow.
And yeah, we've been friends ever since.
So the idea for this book, Big Fan, started because of a dart tournament?
Yeah, I got sent a video by a friend of mine that said, "Hey, you got to watch this." And it was a video of the World Darts Championship in London, which I didn't even know existed. And it was just these two kind of blank-faced British guys throwing darts at a dartboard from 8 feet away. But what was interesting was the crowd behind them was just going bananas, like in the craziest way. And they were like losing their minds, dumping pitchers of beer over each other's heads and throwing napkins and plates in the air. And then I noticed that they were all in costume, like they were dressed like Harry Potter or like the Jamaican bobsled team. And I thought, like, what is this? What was so funny was I thought to myself, these people are lunatics. And yet, being a huge sports fan myself, I recognized myself in them. Like, I had the realization that if I cared about darts, this is how I would be behaving. I just happen to care about basketball and baseball. So I called Joe and said, "I know this sounds crazy, but I have an idea for a book we should write. We should go around the world to all these weird sporting events and write about the fans, not the events so much as the fans, because Joe, like me, is a lunatic sports fan, and I thought it might be interesting to just compare the ways that fans are alike all over the world."
Guys, first of all, a disclaimer. I'm a big fan of yours, Joe. I think I've interviewed on the radio before years and years ago. I'm a baseball guy like you. And Mike, I'm a sitcom fan. And you've produced two of the greatest of all time. So fanboy stuff out of the way. The timing for your visit here couldn't be more perfect, because we just had an organic fan outburst in St. Louis over the weekend, led by a group of college club baseball players. I don't know if you're even aware. They took over a 1,500 seat section because other fans joined them. They called it Tarps Off. They all took off their shirts and were waving their shirts, and it was almost
ridiculous.
It was almost like a soccer fan thing going on. It was truly insane, to the point that Cardinal manager Ali Marmol bought tickets for him the next 2 days. So it really became an organic thing, and that's the kind of feel you're trying to get with your book, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I think that one of the sort of themes that runs through the book itself is that, I mean, fans care so much, and it feels like we are in a time when it's so hard to be a fan, so hard to be connected. And so that's what we wanted to find. Like, we wanted to go out there and say, are these people at the darts championship or at the Indigenous Stickball World Series in Mississippi or at a hockey game in Montreal, or at like the Midnight Sun baseball game they play in Fairbanks, Alaska. They play a baseball game on the summer solstice because the sun never goes down. They play it at midnight without lights. Yeah, and so we wanted to, like, who are these people that are out there watching this stuff, and we know they care. Do they care the same way that we care? Can we see ourselves in them? And yeah, I mean, so you they're in St. Louis, obviously among the greatest fans, and just to see them be able to be free to be the fans that they are, that's what we wanted to get at.
Yeah, so cool. Obviously, the dart championship sounds insane. Is there another group of fans that just you were like, what are we watching?
I mean, not quite in the same way. But, one of the fun things that we did in the book was we each made the other one go to something that they hated. because we wanted to see if you could figure out like what is it about this thing I hate that people love. So I sent Joe to play pickleball because Joe hates pickleball more than anything in the world. And he sent me to WrestleMania.
Nice.
And I have no interest in wrestling or MMA or boxing or any combat sport or anything like that. But the goal was, all right, clearly a lot of people do. So what is it about this thing that gets people excited? And I got to say, after going to like I sat like 4 rows away from the ring at WrestleMania in Las Vegas. And it's not for me, but at the end of the experience, I 100% understood why people like it. The theatricality and the athleticism and the whole like vibe of the whole place, like I got it. And that was really fun to go to places where you walked in with no affinity for something. And when you walked out, you were like, all right, I understand. I get why people love this, you know?
Yeah. And Joe, do you get why people love pickleball?
No, I do. I actually do. Which I honestly it was obviously a device for us to try to get at the heart of these sports. But honestly, we both, in our own small way, like, look, Mike's not going back to WrestleMania and I'm not going back to a pickleball tournament, but we both kind of fell in love a little bit with the sport just because we saw it through the fans' eyes. That was really the whole point, was kind of seeing these things through the eyes of fans. And, you know, I was around some people who are just, pickleball is their life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're really, truly their life. And you see how much richer that sport makes their life. I mean, so in that way, I do love it. It's not for me, but I do love it.
And I got to tell you, fellas, here in the office, I said, Joe Posnanski and Michael Schur are going to be on the show with us. And the nerdy guy in the room said, you got Michael Schur coming on? And the sports head goes, you got Joe Posnanski going on? So you guys are covering all the bases. Tell me, though, in your private lives before you wrote this book, were you ever a big fan of something? Like they've got the beer snake in D.C. for that UFL football team. There's fans like this all around the country, all around the world, but were you guys one of them at some point?
You mean a fan of sports?
A ridiculous
silly
shirt taking off fan.
Go ahead, Joe.
No, I was going to say it's funny just because it does connect to the book. I'm weirdly a fan of chess.
Oh.
But I mean, like I play, but I'm terrible, and I don't particularly even enjoy playing because I'm so bad at it. It just makes me feel worse about myself. But following like the greatest players and seeing the strategies and the things that they do and trying to learn, like I'm really fascinated by that. So I actually went to a professional chess tournament, one of the biggest in the world, there in St. Louis.
I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah, they're in St. Louis. And that was one of the funniest things, because you want to talk about like the worst possible. Like they don't even let you in. They don't even let you watch. Like they're like, you go across the street and watch on TV. They won't let you in the room because you'll be too loud. You know, so watching how fans embrace that sport, which is weird, but that was something I came to with my own personal affection for.
Yeah. Well, you guys are fantastic. I was wondering, Joe, since you're the #1 best-selling author of 7 books, did you feel like you had to kind of carry the load here in writing a book?
It was ridiculous how much I had to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like what has this guy done? Seriously, what has he accomplished in his life?
Nothing. So, I mean, Parks and Rec, The Office, Good Place. And by the way, Mike, I've been on all 3 of those sets, and I love Hacks. So congratulations to both of you on so many great things. 2 great friends, lots of frequent flyer miles, and a bottomless appetite for experiencing sports. That's what Big Fan is all about. You can hear more from these 2 friends Wednesday night at 7 at the Clark Family Branch of the St. Louis County Library. An individual ticket is $42 and includes a copy of Big Fan. You can also get 2 tickets for $55. Seating is first come, first served. For more information, go to slcl.org. Enjoy your time in St. Louis.
Thank you so much.
I really could have talked to them for much longer. I mean, Mike has done everything.
And he used to write for SNL, and anyone who has any connection with SNL, we could spend an hour, because all 3 of us are huge fans.
The stories, but then just think about, I mean, Parks and Rec, you got that cast. that you could talk about forever. You've got The Office with all the St. Louis connections. You've got, it's just super talented.
I'm telling you, Carl was like, Michael, sure, and geeking out. And then McGraw was like, Joe Posnanski. So
kind of cool.
They covered all the bases.
And they will be here Wednesday night in St. Louis, and you can go hear more for them. I'll tell you what I'm geeking out about. The success I've had with Premier U. I really had no idea that I would feel this much better after losing, drum roll please, 22 pounds.
Whoa!
Thank you. And it's staying off, which is the most important part. I actually go to Premier U Thursday, so I'm anxious to get on the in-body scan because one of the things that Premier U does when you're using one of the weight loss medications is they monitor your muscle mass. They want to make sure that you're not losing that because that's one of the downsides. So you get on this in-body scan and it will measure your visceral fat, which it's amazing how much that has gone down. Your body fat percentage, your bone. I mean, it really is a cool kind of scan that you get to see the inside of your body a little bit, and it monitors what you're doing. When you work with Premier U, there really is no specific diet, no difficult workout, just results because you're there with a coach, and yes, they'll suggest a few things. And if you don't do it, okay, you're not going to get your hand slapped. You're just going to weigh in, and maybe you won't see the results that you want. But the folks at Premier U are going to make sure that you have all the tools you need to have that success. I was shocked. One of the reasons that I was not losing weight, I know this does not make sense, I wasn't eating enough. So they really work with you on what to eat as far as the proteins and the snacks, and they give you the supplements. I was blown away when I took the first blood test and noticed I needed vitamin B and vitamin D and vitamin K. What is that? I had no idea. That's why I turned to the people at Premier U. I feel so much better. I have more energy. I am sleeping better, and my clothes fit so much better. Some of the clothes I hadn't been able to get in probably 4 years, and now not only can I get in them, some of them might even feel a little loose. Premier U has 2 locations, one in Swansea, Illinois, one in South County. You can check them out at premiertheletterumed.com or go ahead and call them and get on their calendar, 618-750-LIFE.
Sales tax holidays is now underway at Appliance Discounters. It's the perfect time to buy an Energy Star appliance. You pay no sales tax on Energy Star rated appliances, washers, dryers, dishwashers, and so much more. Plus, every appliance in the store and online are on sale. Huge cash rebates, 12 months interest-free financing. Sales tax holiday at Appliance Discounters. 5 beautiful locations are always online at theappliancediscounters.com. Their savings are your savings. Theappliancediscounters.com.
Julie Buck here with Jeff Zufall, the senior tax strategist and wealth advisor at Capital Advisory Group and author of the #1 best-selling book on taxes, Keep What's Yours, and Keeping What's Yours. He also wrote that book. Now, Jeff, now that the tax deadline has passed, what's happening in the month of May?
May is National Small Business Month. At Capital Advisory Group, we are celebrating our 50th year serving the American entrepreneur and the small businesses that make our community better every day. Since 1976, our company has helped thousands of small businesses grow and thrive by minimizing the financial risk to their businesses, reducing their tax liability, and growing their wealth using tax-smart investing strategy. If you're relying on investment advice from someone who isn't familiar with the tax strategy and feel like you might be paying more than your fair share in taxes, ensure that you're taking advantage of tax laws designed to help small businesses like yours succeed.
Give Capital Advisory Group a call at 636-394-5524 or online at capitaladvisorygrp.com.
Hankey's Tavern, the historic Florissant icon and significant staple. Founded in the early 1900s and operating as Hankey's since 1955, celebrating 4 years under new ownership and management. All Florissant natives and longtime residents that want to keep the history alive.
Home of the famous Hankey's Smash Burger and the most popular item on the menu, the cheeseburger platter served open-faced on sliced bread, topped with cheese, french fries, and roast beef gravy. A must-try on your first trip or every trip at Hankey's. And of course, plenty of ice-cold beverages are always on hand for any stop. Hankey's, located in the heart of Florissant at 901 North Lafayette. The beautiful patio with live music on Friday and Sunday nights. Plus, catch all the St. Louis City soccer games at Hankey's. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. till 1:30 a.m. and Sundays, 11 a.m. till 11 p.m. Hankey's Tavern, a St. Louis icon in the heart of Florissant. Find them on Facebook at Hankey's Tavern or at hankeysflomo.com.
Galmish & Sons have been providing quality heating and cooling services since 1950. They work exclusively with Lennox, the preferred choice of St. Louis homeowners. Call Galmish & Sons for your next Lennox HVAC installation and service. 314-993-1110.
It is 8 minutes before 4 o'clock. Captain Paul, how's traffic moving along?
Heidi, not too bad compared to yesterday afternoon. The latest is an accident on the exit ramp from 170 South to Galleria Parkway with a backup to Delmar. They've cleared a crash on 64 East before McKnight with residual congestion back to Spady. 64 West is congested from Hanley to McKnight. 270 South is running slow from Olive down to 64. 70 West busy from TR Hughes to Route K. And 64 West is slow between Hampton and McCausland. This traffic report is brought to you by Fielder Electric. See what everyone is saying about the pros at Fielder Electric. Whether it's a new build or a 100-year-old home, Fielder Electric has you covered. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
3 men were killed in a shooting in Islamic Center of San Diego yesterday. Don Mahalik, ABC News law enforcement contributor and retired senior Secret Service agent, joins us with the latest. One of those guys was a security guard, right?
So, yeah, the two suspects, when they rolled up onto the mosque, they got out and they started charging into the mosque and shot and killed 3 people in front. One was a security guard named Amin Abdullah, and he apparently, as the suspects tried to run into the mosque, he engaged them, which prevented them from penetrating further. He ultimately died of his wounds, but all 3 of them were heroic, and they saved over 300 children.
Wow.
Amazing. What have there been a report on what kind of weapons these 2 perpetrators were using?
I don't think they've released what exactly they were using, but you can imagine that it was probably some type of rifles and some type of pistols. When they found the car, though, they found inside the car hate-filled writings, anti-Islamic writings, and other anti-writings, as well as I think on one of the barrels of the gun was written hate crime. So clearly these individuals, as has been seen in a lot of these mass attacks, this wasn't a random attack. There was some planning that went into place, which means they were going down the path of a grievance, an ideation, a preparation, and then they committed the attack.
Are we starting to see a new trend with these crazed killers of kind of doing the blitz, the bum rush on these, like we saw in D.C. with the president? These guys, a rush onto the front door. Is this a trend we're seeing?
So there's a lot of intelligence out there actually about lone wolf attackers and their ability to discreetly set up and attack places because of the element of surprise. Nobody's tracking on a lone individual usually someplace. So this seems to be a new tactic. We saw something similar to lesser extent during the 2016 campaign when the Secret Service had the stage rushers running onto the stages and had to protect against that for both Hillary, Trump, and Bernie. But, you know, I think what a lot of this goes to is where we are in society as far as teenagers, radicalization. This whole incident was a cross-section between radicalization and somebody with a grievance. Clearly, one of the teens was in crisis because his mother had called 2 hours prior to report that he was suicidal. So there was some leakage that at least one of the suspects was having problems. And that's one of those behavioral indicators. When somebody's having a problem, they start going down a self-destructive path. And unfortunately for the teenagers these days, a lot of this is occurring online in gaming locations where they find people who embolden their ideologies, because in a teenage mind, they think in terms of black and white. They don't think of nuances, so they're susceptible to things like this. And then on social media, with their algorithms, they funnel. If somebody looks at a potential hateful or violent video, the algorithm funnels more and more and more, which become more and more violent, only emboldening the individual more, which to a teenage mind only embraces what they're looking at.
Wow.
Don, in your professional opinion, how do you stop that?
Well, the mosque was doing the right thing. They had their overlapping layers of security to prevent that. But just broadly speaking, we have a mental health crisis in this country. We have more, even though we have the internet, we have more and more people that feel isolated, alone. not connected to people. I think the internet, phones drive a lot of that. How many times do you walk into a school or even a fast food place these days and you see a bunch of kids sitting at a table, they're not talking to each other, they're on their phones? I usually joke with them and say, "You guys texting each other?" But you have this. People I think we're losing. A generation is losing the ability to communicate, and they're going more to 180 character texts back and forth or whatever versus actually talking to each other. And I think we need to bring back some more talking and communicating and less texting.
Yeah, well, I hear you. Don Mahalik, we always appreciate your expertise on these matters. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Julius Krasanik here, celebrating 54 years in this industry. My family owns Wholesale Siding Depot. That's WSDepot.com. Our seasoned customer service group has over 200 years of combined siding, window, and door experience. My grandson Elijah says,
"Are you kidding me?"
Tired of companies that like to apply pressure to sell you high-priced fiberglass or wood windows? We offer the Anderson Fibrex family of windows in styles and colors, including black, at wholesale prices. What are you waiting for? We sell truckloads of siding, windows, and doors from CertainTeed, Anderson, Viwinco, Provia, and other major brands, all at wholesale prices, while offering a free contractor referral service for your expert installation needs. Keep it local, family, and professional. Visit WSDepot.com. That's WSDepot.com.
John Beal Roofing has been proudly serving homeowners and businesses in the St. Louis metro area on both sides of the river in Missouri and Illinois for over 3 generations. A dependable roof begins with a team you can count on, and that's exactly what you get with John Beal Roofing. Recognized as one of Roofing Contractor Magazine's top 100 roofing companies, John Beal Roofing offers 24/7 emergency service and industry-leading warranties, including a lifetime workmanship warranty for total peace of mind. From upgrading an aging roof or completing a full replacement, the team at John Beal Roofing delivers solutions that are built to code, built to last, and handled with expert care. John Beal also responds quickly with reliable storm damage services backed by decades of experience and 24/7 emergency support. Get started today for expert service and a free, no obligation estimate by calling 1-800-NEW-ROOF. That's 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
Before you put your home on the market, before you have to pay money fixing it up to sell it, before you have to pay real estate commissions, call me. I'm Mike Robinson with Robank Properties, and I will buy your home. Any property, any condition, anywhere, and always as is. Call me, Mike Robinson with Robank Properties at 314-283-0867. That's 314-283-0867. You have nothing to lose when you call Robank Properties at 314-283-0867.
For 6 generations, the name Edwards has stood for unwavering trust in wealth management. At Benjamin F. Edwards, we're fiercely independent and remain committed to putting our clients first. This Memorial Day, we want to put our nation's heroes first and thank those that made the ultimate sacrifice for our country.
The Big 550.
KTRS St. Louis.
From ABC News, I'm Lindsay Davis, anchor of Prime, streaming weeknights on ABC News Live. The Justice Department has issued an addendum to its sweeping settlement to end President Trump's lawsuit against the IRS. Under the terms, the IRS would be, quote, forever barred and precluded from conducting audits of tax returns filed by Donald Trump, his family, and their companies. About the other part of Trump's settlement with the IRS, the $1.8 billion compensation fund for aggrieved Americans. ABC News Chief Washington Correspondent Jonathan Karl asked Vice President J.D. Vance.
I understand that everybody is eligible to apply for this fund. I mean, you're eligible, but I assume you're not going to apply and you don't think you should get money out of this fund. Of course. So isn't it just as easy to say that people that attacked police officers should not get taxpayer money from this fund?
Well, look, John, we're not trying to give money to anybody who attacked a police officer. We're trying to give money, not give money, we're trying to compensate people where the book was thrown at them, they were mistreated by the legal system.
Islamic leaders in San Diego say victims of yesterday's gunfire at a mosque fought and died saving others. The teenage suspects took their own lives. Police Chief Scott Wall.
What you will not hear from us today is the names of these 2 suspects. Today is about our victims in our community.
One of the teenage shooters apparently posted a live stream of the attack before the shooters killed themselves. Georgia is reporting record-breaking turnout in its primary today. Voting is also underway in Kentucky, Alabama, Idaho, Oregon, and Pennsylvania, giving us a clearer picture of Trump's hold on his party. Today, Trump finally gave his endorsement for Texas Senate Attorney General Ken Paxton over the incumbent John Cornyn. Cornyn says Paxton will likely lose to James Tallarico if he's the Democratic nominee. Losses on Wall Street, the Dow falling 322 points following last week's record rally. You're listening to ABC News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-979-3535. That's 800-979-3535. 800-979-3535.
73 degrees at 4:03 with KTRS News. I'm Steve Potter. After 33 years in prison for being convicted of first-degree murder, a Missouri appeals court judge today affirmed Christopher Dunn's exoneration. Eyewitnesses had recanted their testimony from Dunn's trial and had admitted that they had lied. The fight over Missouri's new congressional map is continuing. The group, People Not Politicians, filed a lawsuit yesterday against Missouri Secretary of State Denny Hoskins and Attorney General Catherine Hanaway, accusing them of engaging with county clerks in attempts to make them use a gerrymandered congressional map for votes in their counties. Run for the Wall, an annual 10-day group motorcycle ride honoring veterans and raising awareness for missing service members, has passed through Missouri on their way to the nation's capital. The cyclists began the ride in Ontario, Canada. First Alert 4 caught up with the group during a stop in Wentzville where cyclist Ted Kapner told them that they want to bring awareness to veteran suicide.
Not all wounds are visible. And one of the things I'm riding for this year is to bring about an awareness of the 22 veterans a day who take their own life because they can't assimilate back into society.
The cyclists are scheduled to arrive in Washington, D.C. on Friday. House Minority Leader Tony McCombie filed legislation in the Illinois House this week aimed at making the vehicle registration process more efficient and accessible for Illinois residents. McCombie says the bill would require the Illinois Secretary of State to provide residents the option to renew a 2-year registration sticker online.
For rural residents especially, having flexibility, accessible options isn't just a convenient, it's essential.
The bill is awaiting consideration in the Illinois House, and the city of Clayton has announced the return of the Clayton Music and Wine Festival coming up on Saturday, June 6th. The outdoor event features live music, wines from local vineyards, food from Clayton restaurants, and gourmet food trucks. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. A new report suggests that the minimum wage in Missouri is lower than needed to afford housing. The National Low-Income Housing Coalition's most recent report shows that the average cost of a 2-bedroom rental in Missouri is over $1,100 per month. Now the markets, brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune into Straight Talk on Retirement Saturday mornings from 9 to 11. At close, the Dow down 321 points at 49,364, NASDAQ down 220 at 25,870, and the S&P 500 down 49 at 7,353. Now let's check in with Paul for KTRS Sports and Traffic.
Steve, the Cardinals begin a 12-game stretch against NL Central tonight with the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Birds swept the Buccos on the road at the end of April. Coming off a weekend loss, the Battlehawks moved into a second-place tie in the UFL. The top 4 teams in the league will advance to the playoffs. St. Louis gets a rematch with the Houston Gamblers on the road this Sunday. I'm Paul Kopsky from the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk, and now on to traffic. There's an accident on the exit ramp from 170 south to 64 east with a backup to Olive. 64 west is slow between Hampton and McCausland, and from 364 to I-70. 270 south is running slow from Olive to 64. 70 west is busy from Route A to Route Z in Wentzville. 44 west is slow between the King Bridge and 5564. And in Illinois, 64 east is congested from 111 to 157. This traffic report is brought to you by Neighbors Credit Union. If you're ready to upsize, downsize, or first-time home buy, turn to the team at Neighbors Credit Union. At Neighbors Credit Union, you'll find great rates, expert advice, and personalized friendly service throughout the entire home loan process and beyond. That's just what you'd expect from a great neighbor. Apply online today at neighborscu.org. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Our forecast calls for a 50% chance for rain to continue today into this evening, an overnight low around 56, mostly cloudy tomorrow with an afternoon high around 70. At 7 minutes past 4 o'clock, we have cloudy skies. We do have some scattered rain in the area. 73 degrees at the Gold Tower at Westport. Steve Potter, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
Don't miss a day filled with fun and educational activities for the entire family at the Two Rivers Family Fishing Fair, Saturday, June 6th from 10 to 4 at Pierre Marquette State Park, just past Grafton, Illinois.
There's an amazing 4,000-gallon mobile aquarium on site with fish species found in the Illinois and Mississippi rivers. The kiddos could enjoy a catch-and-release bluegill pond, the one cast station where everyone wins a prize, and a bow fishing station where children can shoot moving targets. Appearances from Hall of Fame fisherman Jimmy Houston and Tim Garrity, the mountain man from Duck Dynasty. Live music throughout the day and food and drink available for purchase. Admission and parking are free, and no fishing license or fishing gear is needed.
That's the Two Rivers Family Fishing Fair, Saturday, June 6th at Pierre Marquette State Park near Grafton. For more info, call 618-786-3323 or visit dnr.illinois.gov.
Choose Pella of St. Louis for window and door replacement to help enhance your home. For a limited time, get 20% off Pella projects. Call 833-87-PELLA or visit pella.com/radio. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Spring is finally here, and it's time to get out and enjoy the weather. Wherever you enjoy springtime, be sure to take the Big 550 with you on our mobile app. Listen live and be entertained and informed. Download the app today and don't miss a minute of the Big 550. KTRS. You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550. KTRS.
Our headlines for this Tuesday afternoon, May 19th. Caitlin Clark named Grand Marshal of the 110th running of the Indianapolis 500. Indiana Fever and WNBA superstar will give the traditional command for drivers to report to their cars during the official pre-race ceremonies as the race's Grand Marshal. The pre-race coverage kicks off at 10 a.m. on Sunday on Fox. In a statement, Caitlin said, "I'm honored to represent Gamebridge as Grand Marshal of the Indy 500. I'm looking forward to experiencing an iconic piece of what makes Indiana so special and being part of the time-honored tradition of the greatest spectacle in racing." Of course, Caitlin Clark was the number 1 overall pick by the Indiana Fever in the 2024 WNBA draft. Since then, she has broken multiple league records, including the rookie WNBA assist record, and was named the WNBA Rookie of the Year.
That's good stuff.
It is pretty cool, I think.
I have a couple of stories that kind of, Josh has infected me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, he can do that.
My stack of stuff
is piling up.
But they're only a couple of days old. He's
Okay.
got stuff a couple of years old.
I would say 10 plus.
But I did you guys see, and I bring it up because we've talked about it frequently, Waymo?
Yes.
Did you see a couple of days ago?
I did, but please.
They recalled 3,791, not spark plugs, not carburetors. Well, they don't have carburetors. But, the entire vehicles out.
Gone.
Because One of the robo-taxis failed to come to a complete stop after encountering flood conditions on a high-speed roadway. And they say we're working to implement additional software safeguards. Reason it did it because they hadn't programmed against it.
Oh.
And that is going to be, that's something with
human error.
And we all kind of thought about it. You know, it doesn't have the ability to deduce situations outside of what's programmed.
Do you remember that story I had a couple months ago where there was like 6 Waymos that were circling a parking lot all honking at each other at like 3 in the morning?
And then weren't there like 20 or 30 that ended up in a cul-de-sac just over the weekend?
Yes.
That's the story I thought you were going to share.
Yeah, I did too.
So, wow, kind of cool. Mm-hmm. And in some form, probably the wave of the future. In fact, I saw one of the brainiacs out there, I don't know if it was Musk or somebody like that, saying that within 10 years, it'll be rare for people to drive their own cars. I think that's a little ambitious, but I get his point.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, this is good news, bad news, good news. On Maui, a man has been arrested and charged for allegedly throwing a rock, but they have it on video, at an endangered Hawaiian monk seal in the water.
Why are you throwing a rock at that?
The size of a coconut.
No.
Have you seen the video?
Yeah.
I've seen
disgusting
video of the Americans jumping into the fence of that little monkey. Have you seen that video?
No.
I'll
What
tell
do
you
they
about that
do?
later. Okay.
This guy wasn't American, though.
Igor Litvinchuk.
I think he's Russian, right?
And he's been, charged with harassing and attempting to harass the Hawaiian monk seal, violation of Endangered Species Act and Marine Mammal Protection Act.
So what happens to this guy?
He's in jail.
Uh-huh.
He could face up to a year in prison for each charge, so at least 2 charges. And I say throw the book at him.
Yes.
It's just, for no reason.
You're just being a...
Witnesses said he kind of was, this monk seal even had a name. People were so familiar with it. And he kind of tracked it and then picked up a big rock and tried to hit it. Disgusting.
Well, maybe
Jail time.
he is a fat American after all. Igor Mikhailovich Levitchuk, 38, of Covington, Washington. So he lives here.
Dumb.
He's going to live in the Hawaii
and
lockup
slammer
for a while.
For
2 years, maybe.
6 months to 2 years. All right. I know that Mike Ward is on this show with us on Fridays, but he listens quite often.
He does.
Sometimes we'll get texts from him saying, hey, that's a great story. What was the text? Did you guys? I was out a couple Fridays ago, but didn't Mike say that his grandpa or his dad was at the Hindenburg crash?
His grandfather.
Yes, his grandfather,
Did you guys talk
I think.
to him about that?
Yes.
We brought up the story, and he texts us during the show, and he said, my grandfather was there as a school child. Can you imagine taking the school children out to see the Hindenburg?
Kind of like rolling in the TVs and watching the Challenger.
Oh, the Challenger.
Yeah.
Yes. Every person of a certain age.
And I do recall that.
Okay, so we'll see if Mike's listening because I've got a wine story. There is an inn and restaurant in upstate Virginia, Les Auberges Provençales.
Oh, sure.
And a wig-wearing duo, infiltrated the wine cellar last November and stole 2 specific bottles of wine. One was $24,000 bottle Romani Conti and a $7,000 bottle of something else I can't pronounce, but I'm sure Mike could. But one of the suspects fled to Vienna, Austria, while the other one, Natalie Ray, was caught. She's a 57-year-old, and she was being arraigned and charged on grand larceny. And through her son and public defender, they gave the bottles back. However, co-owner of this restaurant in Celeste Borel says the bottles are now essentially unsellable.
Oh, no.
Because
proper storage conditions weren't maintained while the bottles were out of their care. They said, in the world of high-priced wine, storage conditions are paramount. Approximately 55 degrees, 60 to 70% humidity, darkness, and lying on their sides. While these bottles were out of their care over the past 6 months, they can't guarantee that any of these conditions were met for the entire 6 months or any period of time. So without assurance of these conditions, the $24,000 bottle and the $7,000 bottle, they say are completely worthless.
Ooh.
Oh, my.
So who gets to sip them?
I will take them.
That's what I was going to say. Now
Don't you?
what?
But when you're dealing with that high amount of numbers, I'm not going to pay $24,000 for a bottle that you can't guarantee was stored properly
But you're
the whole
going to
time.
pay $24,000 for a bottle?
Well, if I am, I'm going to
If you're
guarantee
thirsty,
it's,
right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm going to guarantee it's stored properly.
The 2 Americans were arrested after one of them entered the enclosure of Punch the Monkey. You know, that young monkey that went viral.
The viral monkey.
That was lonely, and then he became friends with a stuffed animal. The man who jumped the fence was wearing an emoji costume. Onlookers videotaped the costume person trying to approach the monkeys, but all of them scattered, so he didn't make contact with any of them.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, so ridiculous.
Nuts.
I don't think we'll see anything like that. At least I hope not. But we are going to see all kinds of wildlife and just Mother Nature's fantastic work. And I'm inviting you to go with me. October 23rd, we're going to journey in search of Iceland's magical Northern Lights with Colette. And over the weekend, I watched who does the travel? Steve.
Rick Steves.
Rick Steves did a whole hour on Iceland.
On Iceland.
And it was stunning. I've heard people describe it as being on another planet or like the moon, but you see it and it is amazing. And like you have these, kind of the steaming lava fields, and you have the black sand beaches. That's just part of it. We're gonna see the Northern Lights. I think we're gonna go out looking for them 4 times with a guide. We're gonna experience the land of fire and ice with that rare opportunity to search for the Northern Lights. And this is why we're going when we're going, October 23rd, because we have better chances of that. We also get to hang out for a day and a half in the charming city of Reykjavik, which looks amazing. We're going to check out those steaming lava fields, the massive glacier sculpted mountains, and even walk behind waterfalls. And I haven't even mentioned the Blue Lagoon. I mean, that looked amazing on the special. So the great thing about all of this, you guys don't have to do anything except sign up and come with me. Colette handles everything, the flights, the meals, the hotel, those local experiences. It's not like you're nickel and dimed. You pay the one price and then come with me and have the time of your life. You can call Altair 314-968-9600, 314-968-9600, or you can go to ktrs.com to learn more. After this break, Erik Siemers, editor of the St. Louis Business Journal, joins us to tell us about an old favorite coming back.
Mom, what do you always say? There's nothing sadder than jewelry that sits in a drawer.
That's why we are proud to offer jewelry repair on site at Newssetter's Fine Jewelry. We know that your jewelry is important to you, and we take that part of our job very seriously. Visit us at Doherty Ferry in Big Bend or learn more at wowdiamonds.com.
You know what I love? The Only Facial, a top-rated facial spa that only does facials. And they've got locations all over town, including Clayton, DePere, Creve Coeur, Frontenac, St. Charles, Sunset Hills, U-City, Columbia, Springfield, Moe, Edwardsville, Illinois, and coming soon to Webster Groves and Cottleville. This facial specializes in one signature facial involving several steps that's customized to your unique skin type and concerns. But the focus is more on meaningful maintenance and real progress toward long-lasting, beautiful skin, regardless of your age or skin type. The Only Facial, $125, no tips, and no upsell. You will love this, and I'm sure there's one near you. Again, coming soon to Webster Groves and Cottleville. It's The Only Facial. You can find out more online at theonlyfacial.com.
Julius Krasanik here, celebrating 54 years in this industry. My family owns Wholesale Siding Depot. That's WSDepot.com. Our seasoned customer service group has over 200 years of combined siding, window, and door experience. My grandson Elijah says,
"Are you kidding me?"
Tired of companies that like to apply pressure to sell you high-priced fiberglass or wood windows? We offer the Anderson Fibrex family of windows in styles and colors, including black, at wholesale prices. What are you waiting for? We sell truckloads of siding, windows, and doors from CertainTeed, Anderson, Viwinco, Provia, and other major brands, all at wholesale prices, while offering a free contractor referral service for your expert installation needs. Keep it local, family, and professional. Visit WSDepot.com. That's WSDepot.com.
It's the No Tax All Comfort Memorial Day sale at Miller Furniture and Mattress, going on now through June 1st.
I'm Mark Miller, owner of Miller Furniture, your home for quality American-made furniture since 1927. We have over $8 million of furniture and mattresses on sale, plus great specials on Amish-made outdoor furniture. And save 20 to 50% off at the grand opening of our new Belleville Clearance Center.
Right now, save the amount equal to the sales tax on all in-stock furniture, plus custom orders from Smith Brothers, FlexSteel, and Amish brands.
Did you know Memorial Day through Labor Day is mattress season? Right now, get a free adjustable base when you purchase a Chatham & Wells mattress, starting as low as $37 a month for queen. Or save up to $900 on select Tempur-Pedic and Stearns & Foster mattress sets.
Visit any of our 4 showrooms in Belleville, Fairview Heights, Lake St. Louis, or Ellisville and save during our No Tax All Comfort sale, going on now through June 1st.
At Miller Furniture, we put the family in furniture.
Worldwide Technology Raceway is the only track in America to host a NASCAR event, an IndyCar event, and an NHRA event.
Don't miss the Bommarito 500 on Sunday, June 7th, part of the NTT IndyCar Series. For full schedule and ticket info, go online to WWTRaceway.com.
The track, under the leadership of owner Curtis Francois, continues to upgrade the race experience for fans who come from around the country. For tickets, go to WWTRaceway.com.
That's WWTRaceway.com.
The Kolache Factory in Brentwood serves up sweet and savory kolaches filled with delectable ingredients, from bacon, egg, and cheese to barbecue brisket, inside a ball of sweet dough made from the finest, freshest ingredients. This Memorial Day, Kolache Factory pays tribute to the bravest of the brave military who gave their lives to protect our freedom.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550. KTRS. This is the Business Journal Report with editor Erik Siemers on the Heidi Glaus Show.
Powered by Capital Advisory Group. CapitalAdvisoryGRP.com.
The St. Louis Business Journal is our go-to for what's happening around town in business. Erik Siemers, the editor, is back to break down a couple of the headlines. How are you, Erik?
I'm doing great. How are you guys today?
I'm very happy, and I'm extremely excited about the story of the day, at least in my opinion, about an old favorite returning. Of course, I'm talking about BB's Jazz, Blues, and Soups. Tell us the story.
So, yeah, BB's closed down back in 2023. The owner at the time, John May, halted operations, had to rethink the business model. This wasn't, of course, very unusual for music venues, restaurants, et cetera, these days. So, but what has happened since is that the owners of the nearby Broadway Oyster Bar, Steve Sullivan and Mark Goldenberg, they announced on Monday that they have acquired the venue. They have it under contract, and they plan to reopen it, aiming for about September 1st. Initially, BB's will be reopened only on Thursday through Sunday. And so, but then, you know, they have some bigger plans for it. Looks like they're just sort of tiptoeing their way back into operation. But they say the reopened BB's will feature live performances focused on blues, jazz, soul, R&B music. They'll have a Southern-inspired menu. They're exploring a Sunday brunch concept that could feature gospel music performances. So yeah, it's a big deal. It's also a building that's really old. I think it's easy to overlook that. It was built as a private home in like the mid 1800s. It's been a boarding house. It's been a reception hall. It's been a mercantile.
It's a big space.
It was founded by a guy named Mark O'Shaughnessy in 1976 as BB's Jazz, Blues, and Soup. So it's been there a very long time.
Yeah. Well, it is very exciting. And did you mention when we can expect it to open?
They are aiming to reopen it by September 1st.
Okay. Something to look forward to this fall.
That's right.
Data centers have been a hot topic lately, and you have a great story about how St. Louis should really lean in. It could be kind of a secret to our success.
Yeah, Ron Kitchens, the managing partner of Greater St. Louis Inc., the private sector business lobby here in St. Louis, wrote an op-ed for us. You can also hear him on our podcast, The Arch City Report, this week, where he is really discussing the data center opportunity here in almost existential terms. So data centers, as you can tell, it wasn't even on the front page of the Wall Street Journal today. There is a very public revolt against these data centers. And it's not just locally, it's nationwide. A lot of money being spent to push them in, a lot of vocal opposition against them. But in St. Louis, where both the city and county are losing population, where the tax base is shrinking, Ron Kitchens is arguing that the tax revenue available through these projects, there is never going to be an economic development project that can replace that can relate to it. So the Midtown Data Center, for example, is projected to generate as much as $30 million in tax revenue for the city. There isn't another singular project that could come into St. Louis that generate that much tax revenue, he said. So for the city to turn these away, it's almost silly, he says. Now, the city, of course, has reached a deal, at least on paper, with the developer of the Midtown Data Center. So it's more of it seems almost like what Ron is doing is speaking toward the general public who are opposing these things. And he also is really a firm believer that these data centers are the foundational infrastructure that will draw more companies to a place. So, in other words, he equated it to me in my conversation with him on our podcast, like a pipeline. If you've got like a 6-inch pipeline, you can get, whatever a 6-inch pipeline is capable of holding in terms of whether it be oil or water or whatever you're putting through it. If you have an 18-inch pipeline, you get a lot more through it, and a lot of more people can hook up to it and connect to it. Having the data center capacity, the computing power in your community at the hyperscale that these data centers want to be means there's that many more companies and innovators and entrepreneurs that would have access to that power, that computing power, making us more of a landing spot for those sort of companies of the future.
Okay, I like
That's
that.
kind of really the heart of it. That's kind of the heart of what he's saying there's been a lot of folks, and Ron's one of them, to kind of equate this to the city by not embracing railroads in favor of the riverboat. Now, it's interesting. The trouble with that argument is that, we're kind of future casting a lot of speculative futures. It's really, though, they're playing into a fear of missing out. If we do not build these things, if we allow these boogeymen who hate AI, if we treat AI as a boogeyman and become scared of it, and we don't allow these data centers to proliferate when there's just incomparable amounts of money on the table waiting for communities, then we are really passing an opportunity by.
And Erik, that was the question I had. It takes a lot of money and manpower to build these things, but once they're up and running, seems like very minimal staff that just kind of hangs around and makes sure that nobody walks in, and if something breaks, somebody's there to fix it. But very minimal staff. Is there any other community that he can point to say, this community built a data center and therefore this company moved in?
Yeah, I don't think they can quite do that yet, and that's really what the challenge is. This is really being billed as an opportunity built on what ifs, what could come. But it's still, the interesting thing about this is the point to me that he's making about the amount of capital that's really available to communities, especially in St. Louis. If you think about it, when a developer comes into the city and wants to develop a big project, they usually go to the city and ask for a tax break to make it work. They need the tax cut to make the project financing work. Data centers are coming in and saying, not only do we not want your tax breaks, we're going to pay you up to $10 million into a community fund just for the privilege of doing this. So so a developer doesn't typically do that because they normally need the tax breaks to make the cost work. But these guys have enough capital. There's enough money available to developers to build these things, and by the AI companies who need them, that what Ron Kitchens is saying is that the city should not pass this by. It is money on the table. It is more customers for our water system. It is expanding our tax base. That $30 million in tax revenue can go towards solving some of the regional problems. So what Ron Kitchen's argument is that is not just about we should support data centers based just on the economic aspects of it. That's part of it. He's saying a very specific thing to St. Louis in this region. We need the tax base. We need the tax revenue. This is an opportunity for us based on the current situation we're in.
Well, Erik, I appreciate Mr. Kitchen's enthusiasm, but I think it's also fair to represent the trepidation that average Joe citizen has for this as well. I've seen it represented in other. I think they have a marketing problem. I've heard other comments, and I don't remember if it was Mr. Kitchen's or not. All these jobs. Well, as Josh pointed out, after construction, there aren't that many jobs. Then what is, you talk about all this money, but what's going to be on my electric bill every month? What's going to be on my water bill every month? Am I going to get fresh water every month? And the answers typically that I'm hearing, and again, I'm glad that he's on with a journalist like you to get to the answers, but these are the answers that average Joe wants and they're not getting, and that's why there's pushback.
Yeah, I think the water and the power thing, there's always answers to it, but they never seem quite satisfying to the person with the concerns. And that's not a criticism on either point. It just seems to be the way the argument goes. Yeah. Ron Kitchens will tell you that the amount of water used by a data center in a year is less than what a car wash uses in a month. That's what he told me this morning. So, again, I have not done the research on that to say whether that's the truth, but that is the argument that gets made. And the power consumption, the power rates are set by state-regulated utilities. And any power consumption that goes over the expected usage is going to be paid for by the user based on some state legislation and local agreements, et cetera. So those are typically the answers you're going to get to those questions. But in a way, I think the questions about the power usage and the water consumption are just sort of the easy, tangible things to grasp on in terms of concerns. What I think really the problem is that a lot of people have with data centers is born out of a suspicion over AI and concerns over AI. And the fact that a lot of these projects are being backed by big AI companies that many people still have trouble trusting.
Yeah.
And we're starting to see now, in Montgomery County, I think it is that, or Franklin County, perhaps. My apologies. There's data centers by Google. There's data centers by Amazon. We're starting to see the names of the users attached to those projects now in ways we weren't 2 or 3, 4 months ago. So I think they're trying to. And as a matter of fact, Google had a public meeting this week to announce their plans for community investment around the data center they're doing down there. So you're starting to see a little bit more transparency when it comes from the users. But I think that to me seems to be the real root of this. Because remember, 10, 15 years ago, we were still building data centers. They were. These things aren't brand new. There's another one downtown right now that's been operating by Jerry Kent's Tierpoint company. It's been ongoing for a few years now. You didn't see the protests for those. Because 10 years ago, they were building data centers for this new technology phenomenon called cloud computing. Cloud computing is now sort of everything we do. We didn't really think about it as this big threat. But we hear the horror stories of what AI could possibly do. I think that's what the general public hears. And we're seeing this absolute race led by multi-billionaires to own this marketplace and expand and grow. And I think the general public has a genuine distrust for that.
Yeah, which makes sense.
That seems to me to be at the root of all this. That's why I say, when you have developers coming, they're normally asking for tax breaks. These guys are saying, no, we'll pay you. To me, it kind of gets to a point of sometimes when a deal seems too good to be true, maybe it is. And I think that's kind of a root of some of the suspicions people have. And what you see from Ron Kitchens is him coming at this at a real direct plea to St. Louis the need for the economic regrowth here, to not pass up opportunities to take that money and use it.
Yeah. Well, maybe as we test the waters with this plan that the city has, we'll see that it's not so bad after all. You can read more about what's happening in business news in our area online at bizjournals.com/St. Louis. Erik, always great to get your perspective. Thank you.
Thank you.
May is National Small Business Month. Join us in celebrating the small businesses that make our community great. Hi, I'm Jeff Zufall, Senior Tax Strategist and Wealth Advisor at Capital Advisory Group, and the author of the #1 best-selling books on taxes, Keep What's Yours and Keeping What's Yours. Let us show you how tax-smart investment strategies can protect your wealth. Give us a call at 636-394-5524. That's 636-394-5524 or online at capitaladvisorygrp.com.
It is 4:37. Let's check back in with Captain Paul. How's traffic?
Not too bad, Heidi. A crash on 270 South past Page has been moved to the shoulder. 270 South is also running slow from 64 to Manchester. 170 South is jammed from Olive down to 64. 64 West is slow between Kings Highway and McCausland, and from 364 to I-70. 64 East bogs down at 170. 70 West is busy from Route A to Route Z in Wentzville. 44 West is slow between the King Bridge and 5564. And in Illinois, 64 East is congested from 111 to 157. This traffic report is brought to you by Dents Express. Drive time can be hectic with traffic, weather, and fender benders. Dents Express can help with hassle-free dent removal, minor collision repair, and hail damage repair. Free evaluations, and they take care of the insurance paperwork. They've got 2 locations on Manchester and Baldwin and in St. Charles. DentsExpressSTL.com. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
And now, KTRS weather.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. Cloudy skies for tonight, a chance for a spot shower, low 55 degrees, mostly cloudy and a high of 69 for Wednesday. Thursday, mostly cloudy and a high of 71, and then rain is likely by Friday morning. That's the latest from the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton for the Big 550 KTRS.
May is Jewish American Heritage Month, a chance to celebrate the people, ideas, culture, and contributions that Jewish Americans have brought to communities across the country for generations. From Broadway to baseball, bagels to breakthroughs, Jewish Americans have helped shape American life in music, medicine, business, comedy, science, public service, and beyond. Serving our region for 125 years, the Jewish Federation of St. Louis celebrates that the Jewish American story is deeply connected to the many communities that together make St. Louis strong.
John Beal Roofing has been proudly serving homeowners and businesses in the St. Louis metro area on both sides of the river in Missouri and Illinois for over 3 generations. A dependable roof begins with a team you can count on, and that's exactly what you get with John Beal Roofing. Recognized as one of Roofing Contractor Magazine's top 100 roofing companies, John Beal Roofing offers 24/7 emergency service and industry-leading warranties, including a lifetime workmanship warranty for total peace of mind. From upgrading an aging roof or completing a full replacement, the team at John Beal Roofing delivers solutions that are built to code, built to last, and handled with expert care. John Beal also responds quickly with reliable storm damage services backed by decades of experience and 24/7 emergency support. Get started today for expert service and a free, no obligation estimate by calling 1-800-NEW-ROOF. That's 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
Mizzou football will be here before you know it. Join us for the 100th anniversary of Memorial Stadium with season tickets. Join the season ticket waitlist at mutigers.com/FB waitlist and get ready to lock in tickets for 2026. The home schedule is highlighted by games against Florida, Texas A&M, Texas, Kentucky, and Oklahoma. Don't wait to reserve your spot. Join the waitlist at mutigers.com/FB waitlist. MIZ.
Kuna Food Service has been the trusted food supplier in the Midwest since 1918. For over 100 years, Kuna Food Service has been distributing the highest quality food products to some of your favorite restaurants while delivering superior customer service. When a restaurant puts their trust in Kuna Food Service, they get a team that truly cares about their success. That's why at Kuna, they like to say, they're big enough to handle it, yet small enough to care. Check them out online at kunafoodservice.com.
Julius Krasanik here, celebrating 54 years in this industry. My family owns Wholesale Siding Depot. That's WSDepot.com. Our seasoned customer service group has over 200 years of combined siding, window, and door experience. My grandson Elijah says,
"Are you kidding me?"
Tired of companies that like to apply pressure to sell you high-priced fiberglass or wood windows? We offer the Anderson Fibrex family of windows in styles and colors, including black, at wholesale prices. What are you waiting for? We sell truckloads of siding, windows, and doors from CertainTeed, Anderson, Viwinco, Provia, and other major brands, all at wholesale prices, while offering a free contractor referral service for your expert installation needs. Keep it local, family, and professional. Visit WSDepot.com. That's WSDepot.com.
Prestige Pools and Spas is St. Louis's most award-winning pool company, family-owned for over 40 years. Their in-ground pool, swim spa, and hot tub experts can make your dreams a reality. This Memorial Day, Prestige Pools and Spas salutes all the U.S. servicemen and women who made the ultimate sacrifice for our country.
Wake up, it's a brand new day. Getting your weekday started the St. Louis way.
It's the McGraw Show.
Hey, it's Carl the intern, and Wednesday on the McGraw Show, it has been raining. And I'm checking my app right now. It seems it's going to stop raining. Never. Okay. And Wednesday on the McGraw Show, we'll teach you how to build an ark.
McGraw Millhaven, Rose Dalton, and Carl the intern. Weekday morning, 6 to 10.
Right here on your hometown station, the Big 550 KTRS. You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show
With Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey.
on the Big 550 KTRS.
3 of the stars of MJ the Musical, which opens tonight at the Fabulous Fox, will join us at 5:30. In other news, the NFL owners unanimously voted to award Super Bowl, what is that, LX4?
Yeah, that's it. Write it down.
LX4, it would be 64.
Okay. To
Oh,
Nashville.
Look at the big brain on Josh.
In 2030,
Yeah.
making it the first time the Music City will host the league's biggest game.
Yeah, they've got the new stadium going up, and that whole area is amazing.
That's going to be a crazy, fun Super Bowl right there.
You've been to Nashville way more times than me, but I was there last year, and it's really a pretty spectacular area.
And it's amazing how much it's grown, even though it has been Music City
Forever.
for all these years. It's just, it became more techy, more businesses moved there. It's just kind of wild. Now, cost of living has also skyrocketed. And speaking of, raising a kid in America, Josh, now costs more than $300,000 on average over the 18 years.
Oh, that's chump change. It's way more than that.
A new study says Hawaii is the most expensive state to raise a kid. Mississippi is the cheapest, and across the country, daycare continues to be the biggest expense for families.
In Mississippi, they don't buy shoes, so that helps.
Save some money there.
It was a joke. It was a
Save some money there.
stereotype joke.
I'm waiting for free childcare or highly subsidized childcare. It is the difference between having multiples and having one. Because once you see that bill, you start thinking, well, how the heck would I be able to support 2 or 3?
That's why Jen quit wanting to be a lawyer and stayed at home mom.
Because it balances out. I mean, it's a wash almost.
Yeah, 10 plus years maybe.
It's why I bought golf clubs, because I don't have children.
That is so funny.
And you can get nice ones.
That's right.
Yeah, but she treats those golf clubs like a baby.
Uh-huh.
I was talking to my wife about this. We had a trip planned to go to Hawaii, and then the pandemic came.
Right. I remember.
Literally April, we were going to go. And then the pandemic came, and it took a couple months for me to even get all my full
But
refunds back.
you didn't reschedule it. You just
No. Well, then we had a kid.
Oh.
And then it was just kind of off the table.
Yeah.
But we were talking about all the pluses of Hawaii versus all the cons, the price tag of everything. Not to mention once you get there, how expensive everything is. Heidi, you just said raising a kid is most expensive in Hawaii.
Have you been?
No, never been.
We've been to Paris.
Well, yes, of
but
course.
not Hawaii.
But
I've
not
been,
Hawaii.
been very fortunate to have gone a bunch of times.
And
A bunch of times.
Oh, at least a dozen.
Mm-hmm.
And it's spectacular.
Yeah, it's definitely on my list.
Well, for what, and I'm going to go at some point.
Yeah.
But for what I'm looking for, beautiful beaches, beautiful water, maybe some snorkeling, some good food. For what I'm looking for, you could go to Cancun for a quarter of the price. And the flight is like, 2.5 hours, 3 hours. So
I've been to Cancun. It's terrific.
It's
It ain't
not
Hawaii.
Hawaii.
It ain't Hawaii.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
that is
I'll find out eventually.
when Finn graduates college.
When Finn graduates college or someone
Yeah.
invites me for free.
Well, if you want to just get some prices, just call over to Altair
There
Travel
you
and
go.
Cruises because they have people going everywhere all the time. I was just looking on social media, and they helped with a destination wedding.
Well, I've been talking to them too about some things this summer, and things can change in college basketball, as we know. A year and a half from now, the Billikens are scheduled to play in Maui. I've never been to Maui.
That'll be amazing.
I think it's the one chance to take the family.
A year and a half from now?
Yeah.
So not next basketball season, but the one after that.
That is correct.
But all those things could change. So we're not booking things, but let's investigate,
Start the
figure it
conversation.
out. Because I think the only way to do it with all of us, the whole family, and who knows if there'll be girlfriends and spouses and boyfriends and whatever.
Yes.
Probably rent a house.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm
So
thinking,
how do we do it?
I'm thinking Learfield will pay for the hotel room, and then there'll be like 4 or 5 of those sleeper beds that they put.
Stacked
Air
up.
mattresses.
Do they still do
Yeah.
that? Can you call down to the
Get a
front
cot?
desk? And can I get a cot
I
delivered
think
up?
you can.
I think
yeah.
I'm going
so.
to need like 4 of them.
Well, I know a couple years ago when I went to Dallas and there were several of us sharing a room. We did have a cot. We had a pull-out bed. We had a couch, a cot, and then a kind of suite. So yes, you can still do it.
We went after the big 550 KTRS 30th birthday party. We went and stayed at the Four Seasons because my wife gets a really good rate.
Nice.
With her job at that hotel. And I was joking with Darren, do you want to come gamble at the casino with us? Because the horseshoe's right there. And I said I'd get a cot brought up to our room for you. And then I started thinking, does the Four Seasons even have cots?
I'm
They
pretty
probably
sure
do.
they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really nice
But
ones, though, I bet.
Again, call Altair Travel and Cruises, and they can help you with all of those things. What I love about Altair Travel and Cruises is that they have so many agents. I think it's close to 40 agents, and each one kind of has their specialty, or they've been different places. And you have your foodies, and you have your shoppers, and you have your adventure people. So whatever it is that you're looking to find, there is somebody at Altair Travel that can help you plan everything out. And we talked about like starting the ball rolling. Some of the fun of traveling is getting excited about it, that countdown and trying to plan it all out. Altair Travel and Cruises can help you go anywhere you want to go, and they can help you do it without busting your bank, which I also love because they can help you travel on a budget. If you want to be extravagant, they can find you the perfect place for that as well. AltairTravel.com or give them a call at 314-968-9600. 10 minutes before 5, let's get a check of traffic with Captain Paul.
Heidi, the latest is an accident on 141 South at Romaine Creek in Jefferson County. It's off on the shoulder, but causing a stop and go back up to Fiedler. 270 South is heavy from Olive to Big Bend. 170 South jammed from Olive down to 64. 64 West is slow between Kings Highway and McCausland and from 364 to I-70. 64 East bogs down at 170. 44 West is slow between the King Bridge and 55-64. And in Illinois, 64 East again congested from 111 to 157 due to road work. This traffic report is brought to you by the Rack House in Cottleville. Stop by for brunch or happy hour, or have the Rack House cater your next event with box lunches or buffets to accommodate groups of 10 to 200 people. The Rack House, featuring a seasonal menu and upscale casual dining and drinks since 2014. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Jacob Showers and Baths is a local family-owned company serving the metro area for nearly half a century. Jacob specializes in helping seniors age in place with bath and shower designs that look great and are safe. Jacob works with seniors and veterans, and this Memorial Day, Jacob thanks our military heroes who gave their lives to protect our country.
Amazon Business empowers leaders with smart business buying tools, leaving time to focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future at amazonbusiness.com.
Well, we knew there would be legal challenges. Now, Royal Oaks ABC News legal analyst joins us to tell us about some of those legal challenges facing President Trump's $1.7 billion fund. Hey, Royal.
Greetings. Yeah, a couple of big arguments. So you can bet Democrats are going to go to court and they're going to say, first of all, Congress has to approve expenditures, not the executive branch. That's in the Constitution. And a judge will have to decide that. Now, Donald Trump can say, well, you know, I oversee some funds. We've got a fund to pay lawsuits if the federal government loses a lawsuit. So we've given Japanese American internment reparations after World War II. So that's one issue. Then the other issue is, is it really fair for Donald Trump as plaintiff saying, hey, IRS, you revealed my taxes, to be able to cut a deal with the IRS when he controls the IRS? They're part of the executive branch. So lots of fun legal issues will be tested in court, I'm sure.
Is there any precedent for anything like this?
Well, you could go back again to the idea of sort of a slush fund for generic obligations by the federal government. It's there. Congress doesn't have to approve every payment of every lawsuit. So there's that precedent, plus the one I mentioned, not only the Japanese American internment, but FBI misconduct settlements are generally controlled by the executive branch. But here, because it's so inherently political, I think the courts are going to give it a very careful look, and now we're just hearing within the last few minutes a new wrinkle in this. Donald Trump's administration is saying that one aspect of this deal is that the IRS will be forbidden from auditing the Trump family for a whole time into the future, and that may have a little trouble passing legal muster in front of a court as well.
You know, I heard the vice president today. He was running the media scrum today with Caroline Levitt out, and they were talking about this, and it seems like they've got the cart in front of the horse in that the vice president said that these J6 folks, they want to look at each case individually and figure it out. Well, then how come they already have a number? Wouldn't you do the number after you figured out who gets what and why?
Yeah, no, that is interesting in terms of how did they arrive at this $1.776 billion. Maybe it's a coincidence that if you take the decimal point out, it's 1776, 250 years ago from America's birthday. But yeah, there is that issue. And then there's also the interesting angle that this whole thing started when Donald Trump sued the IRS saying, hey, you were targeting me and you revealed my taxes illegally. And now this is a settlement of that suit. But usually when you settle a suit, you have two adverse parties. Here, the plaintiff is Donald Trump saying, hey, you ripped me off, IRS. The defendant is also Donald Trump because they're part of the justice system at the IRS. He runs the executive branch. So then there's the question, of course, may Democrat congressmen and women go to court and sue saying, hey, the Constitution says we get to decide how to spend money. Sometimes courts say, no, you don't have standing. You weren't personally injured. So this is going to keep a lot of lawyers busy for a long time.
Yeah, and that's the question. Who takes this on? Is it the Supreme Court? Is it, the D.C. Circuit Attorney? Is it Congress? Who's the first one to say, well, this doesn't smell right?
Right. So, for example, let's say a citizen says, I think this is an illegal expenditure of my tax dollars, and a court might say, okay, John Smith from Biloxi, Mississippi, you get to sue, or a member of Congress could sue. Once somebody is deemed to be an appropriate plaintiff, then they pick a federal court. Let's say they pick D.C. federal trial court that's got mostly Democrat president appointees. And then whoever wins at the trial court goes up to the Court of Appeals, and whoever loses there then may go to the U.S. Supreme Court. So, yeah, not only a lot of lawyers, but a lot of judges and maybe justices will get involved as well.
Yeah, it will be interesting as always.
Does the fact that Todd Blanche, since he's acting attorney general, since he wasn't approved by the Senate, does that play into this at all? Because he is representing, I mean, he could have been representing Donald Trump as his personal lawyer, depending on when he filed this grievance.
Well, that's true. And whether he's the acting attorney general, as you say he is now, or maybe the Senate will confirm him and maybe he'll be the real deal attorney general. Either way, one could argue, gee, you're kind of involved here because you were the Stormy Daniels defense lawyer. And then a court would have to decide, well, is it okay for him to change hats and move from being the personal lawyer to being the attorney general? Probably that's true because people like John Mitchell back in the day, Richard Nixon's attorney general, he had a personal relationship with Nixon. So it's likely that would survive. Then, of course, there's the question of how long may Blanche be the acting attorney general before he turns into a pumpkin, and they have to get somebody confirmed by the Senate.
Yeah, very well said. Royal, thank you so much for your expertise.
You bet. Thanks.
And somebody is pointing out on the text line, it's not a coincidence. It's that ridiculous symbolism, don't forget, 1776.
Oh, yeah. That was pretty apparent.
Yes. All right, lots of people calling it a day. We've got more to get to. We will talk with the reporter who covers the Missouri House legislature, Mark Zinn, and we'll find out what passed, what didn't as they wrapped up. We'll also talk to the cast of MJ the Musical, which opens tonight at the Fabulous Fox. So I'll help you hang out with us for another hour here on the Big 550 KTRS St. Louis.
Amazon Business empowers leaders with smart business buying tools, leaving time to focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future at AmazonBusiness.com.
From the people who brought you It's the Dog Park comes.
Your dog is limping, but she seems fine. Plus, you've heard they can fake it just to get what they want. So what's the deal now? You're being gaslit.
Protect your dog from injury and illness with Progressive Pet Insurance.
Oh, now she switched legs. What a diva.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Coverage subject to policy terms.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Meet me at the Village Bar. Ready for the world's best cheeseburger, homemade onion rings, trashed wings? It's the Village Bar for food and sports. Cards, Blues, Mizzou, NFL, the game's always on. Open 7 days a week in De Pere. Grab your friends, grab a cold beer. We'll see you at the Village Bar.
The Big 550.
KTRS St. Louis.
This is the only station of the STL that has been live, local, and locally owned
For 3 decades. The Big 550 KTRS St. Louis. Depend on it.
ABC News, I'm Wayne Cabot. We're learning there will be perpetual protection for the president under his settlement with the IRS. ABC Stephen Portnoy.
An order from the acting attorney general has the Justice Department agreeing it is forever barred and precluded from pursuing any currently pending matters against Donald Trump, his family, or Trump-affiliated entities. The order specifically mentions any tax returns filed up to the date of the settlement of the lawsuit. The order, which does not spell out or speak to any matters which might be pending, is signed by Todd Blanche, who previously served as the president's personal defense lawyer.
About the other part of the settlement, Vice President J.D. Vance says that using nearly $2 billion taxpayer dollars to compensate wronged Americans would finally put an end to what happened on January 6th.
Let's turn the page on this thing that we did under the last administration where we tried to throw people in prison because they had the wrong politics. Let's throw people in prison who broke the law.
He didn't rule out paying compensation to people convicted of assaulting police officers that day. ABC's Alex Stone is in San Diego with new information about the teenagers who shot up an Islamic center, killing 3 before killing themselves.
We have learned from sources that they were recording and live streaming this event as well. Law enforcement is reviewing very graphic video that was posted to a Gore website that showed this unfolding live and the end of it happening live as well, where they took their own lives. And so that is a part of this investigation. But it appears that they planned this. They had a lot of hate, and they arrived here at the center yesterday, and they carried this out.
President Trump says he was an hour away from ordering more strikes on Iran this week, but then Gulf allies pressured him to hold off.
Yeah, it was all done. The boats, the ships are all loaded. They're loaded to the brim, and we're all set to start.
Brent crude at $107 a barrel now. You're listening to ABC News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-979-3535. That's 800-979-3535. 800-979-3535.
72 degrees at 5:03 with KTRS News. I'm Steve Potter. Early this morning, a person was found dead off a roadway in Marine, Illinois, in eastern Madison County. State police report they were notified about a person walking in the roadway near the intersection of Highways 4 and 143. When they arrived on the scene, they found a body in a ditch embankment. The victim has now been identified as 24-year-old Tyler Robinson. A Missouri lawmaker wants a special session to address gas tax relief.
State Representative Tricia Burns is calling on Governor Mike Kehoe to hold a special session. This to suspend Missouri's 29.5-cent state gas tax from June 1st through December 31st. Burns has a proposal to accomplish the suspension along with a companion appropriations bill to hold MoDOT, cities, and counties harmless during the holiday period. Her efforts align with President Trump's endorsement of federal gas tax relief and Senator Josh Hawley's Gas Tax Suspension Act. Burns says if both the state and federal suspensions pass, Missouri would save nearly 48 cents per gallon. Jill Enders, KTRS News.
Firefighters from several agencies responded to a hotel fire in Pontoon Beach last night. Guests at the La Quinta Inn and Suites reported smoke in their rooms and thick smoke coming from the roof. The hotel was evacuated, but no injuries were reported. Residents in south central Missouri may notice more activity in and around Fort Leonard Wood this week.
It's going to look very chaotic this week at Fort Leonard Wood. That's because the U.S. Army base is running a full-scale installation-wide training event through Friday. The exercise will test base personnel's emergency response capabilities with a simulated event. The exact nature of the event is a secret, but it will involve first responders and emergency operations. The community should expect potential disruptions to the usual routines this week as the exercise is conducted. The military base's public affairs office will provide official updates via the Fort Leonard Wood Facebook page and website as the week progresses. Sobe Bay, KTRS News.
Nominations are being accepted through June 1st for the 2026 Senior Illinoisans Hall of Fame. And tickets for this year's Missouri State Fair in August went on sale today. This KTRS Business Minute brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. After St. Louis's Planning and Urban Design Agency recommended that the Planning and Zoning Commission delay a vote last night to fully consider public feedback, new regulations for data centers in the city have now been put on hold. Now the markets, brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune in to Straight Talk on Retirement, Saturday mornings from 9 to 11. At close, the Dow down 321 points at 49,364, NASDAQ down 220 at 25,870, and the S&P 500 down 49 at 7,353. Now let's go to Paul for KTRS Sports and Traffic.
Steve, the Cardinals begin a 12-game stretch against the NL Central tonight with the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Birds swept the Buccos on the road at the end of April. And St. Louis City SC plays the Houston Dynamo tonight in the quarterfinals of the U.S. Open Cup. If City were to advance to the Final Four, those games wouldn't occur until late September. I'm Paul Kopsky from the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk, and now on to traffic. An accident on 170 South at Forest Park Parkway has been cleared, with traffic still slow back to Olive. There's a crash on 70 West before T.R. Hughes, with the stop-and-go jam back to Mid-Rivers Mall. An accident on 141 South at Romaine Creek in Jefferson County is off on the shoulder, but causing a backup to Fiedler. 270 South is heavy from Olive down to Doherty Ferry. 64 West, slow between Kings Highway and Clayton Skinker, and from 364 to I-70. 44 West is running slow between the King Bridge and 5564. And in Illinois, 64 East is congested from 111 to 157. This traffic report is brought to you by Fielder Electric. See what everyone is saying about the pros at Fielder Electric. Whether it's a new build or a 100-year-old home, Fielder Electric has you covered. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
The chance for more rain will continue for the rest of the day into this evening, an overnight low around 56. Mostly cloudy tomorrow with an afternoon high around 70. At 5:07, cloudy, 72 degrees at the Gold Tower at Westport. Steve Potter, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
This is Mariah, third generation at Newsteaders Fine Jewelry. Buying an engagement ring can be intimidating. At Newsteaders, we ensure complete understanding of your purchase. We offer a choice in both lab and mine-grown diamonds and are able to work with any budget. Let our family help educate you on your choice at Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or at wowdiamonds.com.
Traveling around and want to take the Big 550 with you?
I just got back from the Caribbean. Every morning I'd get up, go for a walk on the top deck of the ship, listening to KTRS on the app.
Download the KTRS mobile app today and see how easy it is to listen.
What a great thing that is.
Anywhere, worldwide.
The KTRS app is great, and I really enjoyed it.
The Big 550, keeping you informed from anywhere. Depend on it.
Overstock Outlet, the best random store around, with new big box store arrivals daily in Lake St. Louis and Warrenton, would like to wish everyone a happy and safe Memorial Day weekend. Overstock Outlet salutes all the U.S. service men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice to keep us safe and protect our way of life.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Republicans in the Missouri General Assembly closed out the annual legislative session last week, but what passed and what didn't? Mark Zinn is a state government reporter at Fox 2 and joins us with that story. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, it's great to be here. How about the Missouri Waltz playing us in here?
Thank you, Mark, for recognizing that.
Yeah.
2 peas in a pod
Very
right
good.
there. You know,
Very good.
There was only one bill the legislature is required to pass, and that was the state budget. Why is that the only one required?
That's just in the Constitution. That's their constitutional requirement, is to pass a balanced budget every year. It ends up being more than just one bill. More than a dozen different appropriation bills that went through the process, and they actually passed, ahead of time, ahead of schedule, that is, and got the $50+ billion budget, which really wasn't that different than the current operating budget that we're working in now, the fiscal year 26 budget. But in the years to come, there's going to be some troubles with the budget.
Yeah. So they also passed more than 80 non-budget bills. At the top of the list, prison terms and juvenile justice. What do these new laws do?
Yeah, there are a lot of public safety related bills going through that list, including that one that's already been signed into law, and then another one related to hemp products, intoxicating hemp products that the Attorney General says that have been illegally sold throughout the state, and trying to put Missouri more in line with what the new federal guidance in terms of that stuff is. So there were a lot of public safety bills, including somewhat related to that is the pregnant divorce bill, which kind of closes a loophole in the system.
Which sounds like it was from 1920, but this was still a law?
Yeah, it was still happening, and the one lawmaker from the Jefferson County area, she spearheaded it, and she said that one of the reasons why she ran for office was to get that done, and it was a bipartisan effort. And there was a lot of bipartisan bills. There wasn't really a lot of drama, I would say, during this session from January to May. And other bills, there were 3 proposed constitutional amendments that the legislature is going to be sending to the ballot here this year, including the income tax proposal, which a lot of people have been talking about. And that means that there are right now, for this election coming up in November, there are 7 proposed constitutional amendments already on the ballot, and at the end of this week, there's a deadline that the governor has, because he might move some of those to the August ballot to kind of have some breathing room with all the ballot measures.
And I really don't care for that, because most people are going to come out and vote in November, and far, far less people will come out and vote in August. They'll probably, forget about it, or like me this past time. Oh,
was that today?
What are all those people doing oh my gosh. So I want to get into a lot of these other things, but you had mentioned and Heidi knew exactly what you were talking about. This old law said that you can't get divorced if you were pregnant.
Correct.
You had to wait until the baby was born?
Yeah, I guess you couldn't file and go through with paperwork for a dissolution of marriage if you were pregnant. And the woman couldn't, I don't know if any pregnant, they just wouldn't allow the pregnancy proceedings to go on until they had the child.
Okay.
Which is kind of,
if that makes sense,
crazy. Okay, so Mark, what's been sent to the governor's desk?
Yeah, so you mentioned those bills, 80 some odd bills. Other bills that went through a speed limit proposal,
yes.
The hike that would go from where it is right now, 70 along rural stretches of interstate, which is most of the interstate system in the state, but it would go from 70 to 75, so along 70 and 44 and those things. But interestingly enough, something that was on that bill itself would have repealed the vehicle safety inspections, and that didn't end up getting to the finish line, and it was actually stripped. It was stripped from that bill. Because they thought that the speed limit, the underlying bill would have been vetoed by the governor, because the governor was a former car dealer and had pretty strong feelings about the importance of keeping those vehicle safety inspections.
Very interesting. Okay, so then what needs voter approval?
The income tax plan, which is the aim is to gradually reduce the income tax and restore that financial aspect. The fiscal note on that is to kind of you have to increase revenue somewhere else, and then there will also be another proposed constitutional amendment that voters will vote on this year on abortion. It's also going to be Amendment 3. It's a different one in terms of what the Amendment 3 was last time. This one would pretty much reinstate the abortion ban, and there's a couple other ones too, including one that the realtors are going to be putting a lot of money toward, and that is this initiative petition reform constitutional amendment, which is a constitutional amendment to make it harder to pass constitutional amendments. So a lot of interesting stuff there.
Interesting and confusing, because we passed the Amendment 3 and then now we're going to vote on it again. I mean, why vote on it the first time if we don't listen to what voters want?
It's a fair concern. I think both sides could see the fact that the Constitution's been amended more than 100 times over the decades, and that it's too easy to amend the Constitution. I think Democrats can make that argument because they just had their Amendment 3, And now the Republicans are coming back a couple of years later trying to undo what they passed in Amendment 3. So it's kind of a never-ending game there.
So true. We're talking to Mark Zinn, a state government reporter at Fox 2. What big things didn't pass?
I would say they really were going to try to do something that had substance related to the income, or not the income tax, property tax reform. Because that's everybody was talking about that. And they passed some minor bills, including one related to zoning for short-term rentals, Airbnbs, in terms of the property taxes. But there really wasn't, and even up until the last couple of days, the House Speaker was still trying to make some sort of property tax deal. But that's a lot of money that you're trying to mess around with, and a lot of money that goes to, specifically to school districts and fire protection districts. So it's when you have that many, hands in the pot, it makes it a little bit more difficult to pass.
So that didn't go through. There's a whole write-up on, you said there was no drama. This is probably the most drama. There was a whole write-up on it in STL Today about how the property tax thing right at the last minute didn't go through. But some of the other things that didn't go through are the gas station slot machines. They haven't made a decision on that. Are they waiting for some reason, or
kickback money?
Yeah, waiting for the envelopes to show up.
So I think a couple things happened. So we talked about it last time, I think. Catherine Hanaway became the Attorney General, and she wasn't having any more of that, because it's, depending on who you ask, but a lot of people could make the argument that those things are illegal, and that casinos, for sure, the legal gaming industry, they have to go through so much regulation to have those slot machines, and how many feet they have to be away from a body of water and all that stuff that's in the Constitution. And these things just pop up at the gas station, pretty much the same thing. And the Attorney General was arguing, and is still arguing, that she said last week that it had become a $1 billion industry just in Missouri. And that's a lot of cash, all of it being made and being, divvied out under the table. Yeah, under the table, and not taxed, not regulated. So this bill would have kind of created a regulatory framework to regulate these things and to tax these things through the Missouri Gaming Commission. And it passed out of the House, but it seemed dead on arrival in the Senate, and that proved to be true, as the leader of the Senate, she's not a fan of gaming in general and gambling, and she kind of put an axe to that.
Yeah. Mark, we appreciate you running down this list for us. And somebody on our text line said, it's great to hear former KTRS producer Mark Zinn on the air.
Shout out. Yeah.
How about that?
I'm heading down to Joplin right now. It's the 15th year. I don't want to say anniversary, but it's been 15 years since that devastating tornado. So just going to be down there reporting. We have a sister next to our station down there in Joplin, so we'll be down there for the next couple of days. So make sure you watch the coverage.
Well, are you driving 75 on the way down there? Or are you just sticking to 70?
No, I stick right at 70. In the next star car, you bet. Right at 70.
I was going to say, in that company car, be very careful.
And then just one other question about this this session. Are they done for the rest of the year?
Yeah, they come back in September for like a week for the veto session, if the governor vetoes anything, and he might have some line item vetoes of the budget, but that's it. There are some questions about whether or not they might call a special session. The governor would do that, and maybe something. I know you guys had on your newscast about Tricia Burns. She's a state rep in St. Charles, calling for a special session to have the state kind of at least temporarily repeal the state part of the gas tax, but not sure if any of that's going to happen. So unless the governor calls the lawmakers back, hopefully this will be it there.
And when it comes to state politics, our state senators and our state reps, they are by design supposed to have other jobs. This is kind of in addition to what they do. The people in D.C., that's their full-time job, but they work from January to May, and then they take the summer off, come back for a week, and then maybe on an as-needed basis. And that's the schedule?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. And I think their salaries in the upper 30s or lower 40s. They also get a per diem.
Don't forget the per diem.
Yeah. So, but I'd like to think of them as citizen legislators.
Yeah.
But it's kind of weird though. What kind of other job can you have? For half of the year, I'm going to work Monday nights through Thursday, and then I'm going to come back and work Monday through Friday for you. I don't know how that would work.
Yeah, but I'm going to say with that that salary, you might need to have a couple side hustles.
Yeah, a little side gig. Yeah, be an Uber driver or something.
For sure. Mark, thank you so much, and be careful on the roads.
Appreciate it, guys. And Bob Ramsey, you're a legend.
How about that?
Wow.
Yes. Full disclosure, in that last commercial break, I was just kind of scrolling through Byerly RV just to see what was new on the lots. And it is...
Bob, she's got a trip next week, but she's already gone.
You got to look at what's hot. And the latest, it is, they're constantly bringing in, I like to call them new rigs, but of course they're RVs. Byerly RV has been around for more than 75 years. Now, the rigs have changed, but the way they do business has not. Locally and family-owned St. Louis business there in Eureka. And you guys know by now how much we love RVing, and we're going to take out Friday night, and we're going to head to Seattle, but we're going to stop in Yellowstone for 2 days. We're going to stop in the Badlands. We're going to make our way to Seattle and through the Gorge, and then we're going to come back through Willamette Valley and stop at a couple of wineries. This is what you can do when you have your little tiny home on wheels. Byerly RV has more than 30 brands of new RVs in stock. We're talking travel trailers, fifth wheels, camper vans, gas and diesel motorhomes, and they've got a great selection of used inventory. The other thing is you can kind of spread out your payments. You don't have to do this in a year. You don't have to work your payments like a car in 5 years. You can put it on 10 years or depending on maybe even 20. So you have your own little tiny home for maybe $250 a month, and then you can go to a lake or a beach, wherever it is you want to go. Byerly RV can help you get there. The service department is fantastic. They have a great storage facility. They even have a body shop. So whatever it is you're looking for, whether you own an RV already or don't, Byerly RV is your answer. ByerlyRV.com, or stop by the dealership there in Eureka at 109 and 44.
Or could you imagine if your state rep picked you up and was your Uber driver?
I would be shocked, but I would get it.
Yeah,
I understand.
You know what? I think I'd appreciate it. You're working.
It's sort of the way that the government was intended to
Yes,
run.
that's exactly right.
Yeah.
I trust Pella Windows and Doors of St. Louis to help improve my home when it matters most. It's not just Pella's high-quality windows and doors. It's the local experts who know the St. Louis area so well. For a limited time, get 20% off Pella projects or 0% no payments, no interest if paid in full within 24 months. Call 833-87-PELLA or visit Pella.com/radio to learn more. 833-87-PELLA or Pella.com/radio. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
Hankey's Tavern, the historic Florissant icon and significant staple. Founded in the early 1900s and operating as Hankey's since 1955, celebrating 4 years under new ownership and management. All Florissant natives and longtime residents that want to keep the history alive.
Home of the famous Hankey's Smash Burger and the most popular item on the menu, the cheeseburger platter served open-faced on sliced bread, topped with cheese, french fries, and roast beef gravy. A must-try on your first trip or every trip at Hankey's. And of course, plenty of ice-cold beverages are always on hand for any stop. Hankey's, located in the heart of Florissant at 901 North Lafayette. The beautiful patio with live music on Friday and Sunday nights. Plus, catch all the St. Louis City soccer games at Hankey's. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. till 1:30 a.m. and Sundays, 11 a.m. till 11 p.m. Hankey's Tavern, a St. Louis icon in the heart of Florissant. Find them on Facebook at Hankey's Tavern or at hankeysflomo.com. Worldwide Technology Raceway is the only track in America to host a NASCAR event, an IndyCar event, and an NHRA event.
Don't miss the Bommarito 500 on Sunday, June 7th, part of the NTT IndyCar Series. For full schedule and ticket info, go online to www.traceway.com.
The track, under the leadership of owner Curtis Francois, continues to upgrade the race experience for fans who come from around the country. For tickets, go to www.traceway.com.
That's www.traceway.com.
Everyone's talking about these weight loss drugs, and it's a good thing we've got Dr. Joe Molesky with us, a St. Louis native and board-certified primary care physician. The one thing we need to know is GLP-1, right? That's the magic cure.
The magic cure is these weight loss shots. They're injected once weekly. They're not like the old medications that you've seen 20, 30 years ago. These medications actually work.
And you want to start to lose weight? None better than to call STLMedWeightLoss.com and ask Dr. Joe. STLMedWeightLoss.com.
You're listening to The Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
It is 5:27. Captain Paul, traffic still looking pretty good?
Well, we have a couple of active crashes right now. The latest is an accident on 70 West at the Blanchette Bridge, blocking the two right lanes and causing a stop-and-go jam back to 270. There's a crash on 70 West before T.R. Hughes, blocking the two left lanes with the stop-and-go back up to Mid-Rivers Mall. Estimated clearance time there is 5:45. 270 South is heavy from Olive down to Manchester. 64 West is slow between Kings Highway and Clayton Skinker, and from Lake St. Louis Boulevard to I-70. 44 West running slow between the King Bridge and 5564. And in Illinois, 64 East is congested from 111 to 157. This traffic report is brought to you by the St. Louis Battlehawks. Battlehawks fans, get ready for Kids Day. Friday, May 29th at 7 p.m. St. Louis takes on the Dallas Renegades at the Dome at America's Center. Young fans take flight and rule the turf. Plus, the first 10,000 fans score an exclusive Archie bobblehead, courtesy of Renewal by Anderson. Don't miss the action. Get your tickets now at uflbattlehawks.com. United, we battle. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
So Michael, the biopic, continues to win the box office. But before that, there was the Tony-winning MJ the Musical, and it is back at the Fabulous Fox by popular demand. We are so happy to have not one, not two, but three of the stars with us. Jordan Marcus plays MJ.
Hi, how you doing?
And is that your real voice, or are you acting right now?
I wish I could say I was acting. After a few years of studying Michael and doing this show, it's kind of become a part of me now, and it shows through my voice now.
It does. It's so crazy. And we also have Rajane Couture.
Yes, Rajane.
And you play his mother,
yes,
Catherine, which is so cool. And then we have Jackson Van, who plays the little version of Michael.
The skinniest Jackson.
This is so fun. So, Jordan, we have to start with you. I mean, you were playing the king of pop. Yes. How long did it take you to not only get that voice, but the moves?
Oh, my goodness. Thinking back on this time on tour, I spent the first full year of this. I was a standby when I first signed on, and I spent almost every day rehearsing the show, rehearsing all the moves that Rich and Tone kindly granted me with, rehearsing all the lyrics that I thankfully knew before the show just because I've been such a big fan my whole life. But yeah, all of that time for a full year was spent in a mirror, really, just trying to perfect the show and get it into my body and really make it feel like, for these couple hours, I am Michael, so I should make it work.
There are 4 generations of people in the studio right now, and we all grew up doing these dance moves.
Absolutely.
So how good were you before?
Yeah, with that moonwalk.
You were going to be Michael Jackson versus now?
That's a good question. I came in with a bit of knowledge. I mean, I've been singing since I was around 6 years old. And I sang in my uncle's church growing up. I always loved Michael's music, and he's the one who made me want to even learn how to dance, how to move my body as a kid. So I would emulate him in my grandmother's living room, trying to do the moonwalk and stand on my toes without falling and all those other things. So I've been a student of his for a while, I like to say. He was my first inspiration.
That is so cool. And Jackson, you're little Michael. Did you know who Michael Jackson was before you got cast and before you auditioned?
Honestly, I don't think you can live without knowing who Michael Jackson is.
Yeah.
I was the biggest Michael Jackson fan before joining and still now. Like, before I joined the tour, I would practice his dances every 2 seconds. After dinner, I would turn on the TV, put on history, and I would do any move I can think of at the moment. I'd watch the music videos. I went to school dressed up as him. I was the biggest Michael fan.
This is so crazy. And then Raj, you played this role on Broadway?
Okay, honestly, so I wasn't playing the role on Broadway, but I did cover the role on Broadway for a little bit before tour.
What's the difference? Really, you were on Broadway.
This is true. You were.
Come on.
In the playbill.
I know. I had the playbill to prove it.
Yeah.
No, I've been a part of MJ for 3 years. Actually, May 12th of 2023 is my starting date. So it's been part of my DNA, if you will, for 3 years.
And do you get to meet with Katherine Jackson when you're playing her? Has she ever been in the audience?
No, I've
that
never
freak
got
you
to
out?
meet her. It wouldn't freak me out. I'd probably be very oh my God, the closest thing to Michael, is the mom. I'm playing her,
That's
oh my
the
God,
queen,
what is she, does she think that I'm cute? Is she okay, approved,
Yeah.
No,
of
but
approval.
exactly, no, but I would be very honored. So I'm excited, hopefully one day I'll get to meet her. And she's wonderful. And it's an honor to play a matriarch. And,
Absolutely.
So Jackson, you're on the road. You're 13 years old. And I was wondering before you came in, did they just cut you loose and you're on the road? But no,
Mom.
your mom is here. My question, though, is this your first real gig in acting? Had you always wanted to be an actor, dancer? How did you get in the business?
Oh my gosh, this is a great question. So I started off 2023 just now singing. I'm really new to all of this. I mean, I sang with my mom in the car in 2016, but that's the closest I've ever gotten to this.
Okay, did your mom tell you were good?
No.
Oh.
But, the thing is, I think I had to really get to that point because I only did my first production last year. It was a community play for Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I was Charlie.
Nice.
It was great. It was great. But you know what? The hardest dance move was a jazz square. So I was never really a dancer until I got the audition. And I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot do this. I was like, what am I going to do? This is not my element until I hired a dance teacher and the rest is history. I just got really good, I'd say.
Yeah, you should see
I
him now.
would say.
Yeah. And a lot of times we have actors portraying real-life people. We had somebody doing Freddie Mercury, and that is just a voice that is impossible to replicate. I would think that young Michael would be the hardest to replicate. Jackson, do you have problems trying to get that, oh, baby, I was blind?
You know,
You can do it better than that, though, right?
Playing Little Michael, oftentimes I try to make sure it doesn't sound like Jackson Van as Little Michael, and it's just Michael as Michael. But oh my gosh, trying to add that grit to my voice, sometimes I sound like a madman. It's really,
don't listen to him. As someone who gets to stand by and listen every night, it is very inspiring. And I will also say, I think a lot of the they are not impersonating Michael, and they work with wonderful voice teachers and our directors to bring Michael's voice, whatever you have to the role. And I think that makes the difference because you are seeing people, it still looks like Michael, it sounds like Michael, and you're like, why is that? Even if you don't sound exactly like him. But no, it's really inspiring to watch these people sort of transform into Michael, bringing their full selves to it.
I saw the show last time you guys were in town, and it was absolutely amazing. Does it throw you off when everybody starts singing the songs?
It's funny. There's this one running joke that we have sort of just amongst ourselves in the cast, because everywhere we go, and they know what I'm about to say, everywhere we go, at least once a week, Man in the Mirror starts. And the audience will start clapping along but it's never on beat.
And I try to give grace. I'm like, it's
Right.
the echo. It's the
Exactly,
echo. No,
like the
they were
sound.
not even with the echo.
It's really funny.
But
And
that
then
has to throw you off a little
sometimes,
bit.
and when Billie Jean starts and everyone gets up, that's really fun. I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. I
Billie
love
Jean's
those moments.
If you
They'll
see
sing
us patting
along
our
and
side,
yeah.
or like tapping our toe, it's because we're trying to stay with the
Kinda like-
actual beat.
Yeah.
not the audience.
Okay, that is
But it's
fun.
endearing. Like, we do love it.
Yes,
It
we
is,
do.
but
Yeah.
that one is really funny.
Well, this musical is amazing, but it's more than just Michael Jackson's vocals and his moves. I mean, this really does tell a story, and it's really a 3-year span. Is that when it is?
Honest, yeah, I guess technically. Go ahead,
It's surrounded. It surrounds the culmination of his Dangerous World Tour that was mounted in 1992. So it's kind of the few days before we head off to Munich, Germany, in a sense, in the story. And just what goes along with all of that, like all the creative process behind it, what it took to build one of the biggest tours ever, the biggest tour ever at the time.
Yes.
And just how not only he became the King of Pop, but how he retained that title through pushing boundaries even further after already crossing so many in his career up until that point, up until the 90s. You know?
True.
I gotta imagine there are some great costumes in the show.
Yes.
So there are flashbacks because we have a little Michael Jackson here. So his outfits are probably awesome, giant lapels.
Yeah, 70s.
The Dangerous is probably the black jeans and the white shirt.
You don't say.
Wow. It's funny you mentioned that.
Is there any red leather jacket that comes
Is
out?
there?
No,
I don't know.
You know, there might be one, and I don't want to give
Maybe
too much
one.
away, but there's definitely
Maybe two.
maybe one or two,
And a glove. There's got to be a
There's
glove.
definitely a glove. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
There's
How many
definitely
gloves
one.
are backstage? Is there just one? Like, what happens if you lose that glove?
You know what?
You can't lose that
You
glove.
can't.
And we haven't.
Yeah.
We're knocking on all the
Yeah.
doors. And speaking of the costumes, we have a wonderful creative team. Paul Tazwell, who is Oscar winner, you might know him from Wicked. He was our costume designer, and the show was written by Lynn Nottage, who is a fabulous Black woman playwright, and she has won Pulitzer. And so I say all that to say, speaking on like the story of it all, it is written in such a beautiful way that you don't even realize that you're moving in and out of time. We're set in the rehearsal room, but we do jump back to the Jackson 5 days and
Yeah.
the
You get
Dangerous
everything you want.
Victory Tour. Yes, you get everything you want, and then
Yeah.
and you learn, like we've said, like you learn things about him that you're like, oh my gosh, I'm a big fan, but I didn't know X, Y, and Z. And then by the time you look up, we're bowing and you're like, wait, it's over?
Yeah.
And we're sweating like, yes, it's over.
Thank God it's
we
over.
love you guys, but yes, it's over. No, but it's fantastic.
Is there one like part of the musical and you get to like song number 4 and everybody kind of takes a deep breath and like, okay, everything's going smooth. We're there. Is there like that?
That's a good question. I think we might all have different answers. Jackson, do you have a point in your track where it's like,
when
I
I
did
get
it?
like when I get to the near the end of ABC,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, all these other songs are consistent, but now I can breathe. Oh my gosh.
Oh
like
my gosh.
for me, after that's the last song in the medley. So I'm like, okay, my body is I can stay still. I can bathe in the applause.
Yeah.
That's my hardest part. What about you?
I think after I'll be there. It's a fun number. I take a breath and I'm like, okay. And it used to be one of my final numbers, which I'll say it because you'll still come see the show. But Man in the Mirror was a very that number. I have like a solo at the end, and it always kind of scared me because it's just like a lot of pressure. You kind of end the show in a way, and so I'm like, oh God, it's just me and the mic's so loud. So, but no, I'll be there is a moment where I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
we're moving on.
Yeah. I have a few of those moments, honestly,
I'm
throughout the
sure.
show. There's very little time when I am off stage and can actually sit down and breathe. But I mean, in the sequence of the show, after our first number, we start right out the gate. We shoot out like a rocket with Beat It. And after that, I'm like, okay, I'm here, and
Here
we're
we
going to keep
go.
going because it's too late to turn back. Like, I can't leave now. You know?
Such a musical family. Did Catherine sing in real life? Do we know?
She did sing.
She did.
She did.
Michael, in his book, he mentioned like her singing to them like as a mother would,
mother,
not
yeah.
professionally. But
She was not a professional singer, and it's funny because Catherine is a lot like my mom. Like my mom she always is like, you got your singing from me. And I'm like, huh? And I'm like, no, yeah. Like my mom would sing and rock me to sleep. And when I would go on the little auditions and sing things, I would sing it with my mom. But my mom, you will not see any videos of her. You know what I mean? She's not like up here like I'm a singer. So in that way, like the motherhood and like, and I feel like doesn't everybody's mom sing, right?
A little bit, or at least
mother
hums.
does.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
hums. Like you are your mother's first audience if you think about it.
right.
And she is also the person in which you feel most comfortable. For most of us, you feel most comfortable to explore and sort of, and she feels most comfortable with you to sing. So
It's sweet.
she doesn't necessarily sing.
Yeah,
in the theater.
Yeah, in the theater. But for the sake of our show, it really makes sense. And she had sang to Michael a lot growing up.
Beautiful.
And how many of the songs are featured in MJ?
Almost 30.
Yeah.
It was a little over. Yeah,
Almost
almost 30.
I said, if you have 5 favorite songs, at least 3 of them are in it.
At least.
Well, you guys, I mean, you know by now that this is a fantastic show. MJ opens tonight at the Fabulous Fox Theater. It will be in town through the 24th. You can get tickets at fabulousfox.com. Break a leg.
Thanks so much.
Do you guys have a favorite Michael Jackson song?
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm putting you on the
this
spot.
question. I can't pick a favorite.
Okay.
I can't. I'll go for right now. Top 3. Who Is It? It's on the Dangerous album if you've never heard it.
Yep.
Human Nature, of course. One of the best songs ever made, period. And there's only one more. Oh my God.
Let them think, Jackson. What's your favorite
Bad.
Michael Jackson song?
Oh, Bad. Okay, that's a good choice. I'd say Scream and Tabloid Junkie, which are on the History album, and then PYT off of Thriller.
Oh, that's my
Good
favorite.
choice.
That's my favorite.
And Raj?
Like mother, like son.
Yeah.
PYT.
It's a good one. Such a good song.
You guys, this has been such an honor and so much fun. Thank you so much.
Thank
It
you.
was fun.
Where did you come from, baby? And ooh, won't you take me back? Got away, won't you, baby? Tenderoni, you got to be. Spark my need, just sugar fly with me. Don't you know now?
Well, speaking of live theater, the 2026 Muni season will be here before you know it, and all Muni tickets are now on sale. You can get tickets for the 7 musicals starting at just $20 at muni.org, MetroTix, or the box office in Forest Park. Tickets for Lionel Richie are on sale. $75 is where those start with VIP upgrades. And I got to tell you, we went last year to see Diana Ross and John Baptiste, and there is nothing like seeing a concert at the Muni. Just a reminder, as far as the musicals, Season 108 includes Hairspray, Shrek the Musical, Rodgers and Hammerstein, South Pacific, Disney's Newsies, Ain't Too Proud to Beg, The Life and Times of the Temptations, which is going to be fantastic. A usual favorite, Meet Me in St. Louis, that has to be done every so often. And then you've got Something Rotten, which I absolutely love. So find out more, purchase your tickets at muni.org or go to MetroTix. It's quick and easy to purchase, and you will not be disappointed when you are sitting in that theater under the stars, watching the stars on stage.
I'm Farmer Dave, and here's my good friend and owner of MasterCars Inc., Alex Rosenberger, with today's hot MasterCars Inc. deals.
Thanks, Farmer Dave. We are in our peak selling and buying season right now. I'm paying top dollar for pristine, low-mile cars and motorcycles, especially Corvettes, Porsches, sports cars, and luxury cars. I'll buy classics, too. Hop on our site and submit your vehicle. Downsizing, estate liquidation, we'll even buy entire collections. If you're in the St. Louis area, I'll come to you and inspect, make an offer on all your vehicles if they're in great condition. You can submit those through our site too, mastercarsinc.com. We are buying, selling, and trading every day for 3 decades.
So rev that motor and point your car in the direction of MasterCars Inc. and buy or sell today. 4100 Namioki Road in Granite City, or visit mastercarsinc.com to get more details. That's mastercarsinc.com.
Julius Krasanik here, celebrating 54 years in this industry. My family owns Wholesale Siding Depot. That's WSDepot.com. Our seasoned customer service group has over 200 years of combined siding, window, and door experience. My grandson Elijah says,
Are you kidding me?
tired of companies that like to apply pressure to sell you high-priced fiberglass or wood windows? We offer the Anderson Fibrex family of windows in styles and colors, including black, at wholesale prices. What are you waiting for? We sell truckloads of siding, windows, and doors from CertainTeed, Anderson, Viwinco, Provia, and other major brands, all at wholesale prices, while offering a free contractor referral service for your expert installation needs. Keep it local, family, and professional. Visit WSDepot.com. That's WSDepot.com.
Let me tell you about family jeweler Lordo's Diamonds that has been a proud sponsor at KTRS for over 20 years. If you need jewelry, whether brand new diamonds, earrings, necklaces, bracelets, maybe something for the gentleman in your life, a nice new watch, or maybe something for the daughter or the son, Lordo's is where you want to go. Right there in Ladue on Clayton Road, a family jeweler, well-respected, well-trusted for generations here in St. Louis. Lordo's or lordosdiamonds.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Let's do a little entertainment news. Stephen Colbert is going to need more than an hour to end his 11-year run on The Late Show. As the late-night host epic farewell approaches, more details are being unveiled about the May 21st final broadcast. That's Thursday. It will mark not only the end of Colbert's tenure, but the final days of The Late Show franchise. So we don't know who is going to be joining Colbert, but you can expect that it is going to be a fun show. Billy Joe biopic Billy and Me is officially in the works with Bohemian Rhapsody editor to direct. However, it's unclear if the Piano Man has authorized the film inspired by his early years. And if he doesn't, then
What's
is
the
it even
point?
right?
What's the point? Does everybody need a biopic, though?
I would like to see yours.
Mine?
Who would play you?
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh.
Okay, that'd be good.
He's sniffed around a little bit.
Okay.
Oh, boy. Hayden Panettiere's memoir, This Is Me, A Reckoning, is on shelves now, and she details her struggles with alcoholism, motherhood, fame, child stardom, and more. The actress, who is 36 years old, has spent nearly her entire life in the spotlight after beginning her career in commercials as a baby before rising to fame in Heroes, Nashville, and Scream. I did not realize she was a child star, but she tells this one story of, I guess, being a kid, like not even having all your teeth in and losing a tooth, and her mom glued teeth back in her mouth so she would not lose the job.
Oh, my.
So it seems like it was pretty rough being a kid star.
There are some official stories that she shares in the book.
Yes.
There are a lot of unofficial stories that are Hollywood whispers. It seems like she has had a rough time.
Is that right? I had no idea.
Rough time. But I will say she was fantastic in Nashville.
Oh, yeah, with the wonderful Connie Britton.
Oh, she was fantastic. It was a fun show. Shonda Rhimes, by the way, another great one, doing it again. The creator of Grey's Anatomy, bringing another spinoff to the network for the upcoming 26-27 season. The new untitled medical drama will also feature Grey's Anatomy star executive producer Ellen Pompeo as an executive producer. It's currently slated to premiere mid-season 27. The only other thing we know is it will be set in Texas. So we'll see. Noah Schnapp from Stranger Things graduated from Penn, and Shaq got his second master's degree from LSU. Now, on the other side of the podium, Harrison Ford gave the commencement speech at Arizona State last week. He told the graduates to get out there and fix the mess his generation left for them, which is kind of funny. Eddie Murphy doesn't let his kids work in show business until they're 18. His 24-year-old daughter Bella says he really wanted me to have a normal childhood, which now I'm very appreciative of.
Oh, yeah.
We just talked about Michael Jackson with MJ. Billie Jean tops Billboard's global charts more than 40 years after its release, of course, because of the Michael biopic. But that movie continues to dominate the box office.
I'm going to say something very controversial.
Okay.
There's a hot take for you. Billie Jean, I don't care for it.
Way to stick your neck out.
Yeah.
A little
Wow.
overplayed, much better songs on the album.
Okay. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
It was 17 years ago today. In 2009, Glee premiered on Fox. It ran for 6 seasons. And if you're looking for something funny to watch tonight, the stand-up special Wanda Sykes' Legacy is on Netflix. Let's do a couple birthdays.
Couple birthdays. All right. Heidi's going to get the edge on this one.
We'll see about that.
Lainey Wilson.
Lainey Wilson.
Wait, didn't she just got married.
She sure did.
Did she win something at the award show the other night?
She's kicked it all off. She might have gone home. She was nominated for a lot. I'm going to say she's 36.
You know, I'd say she's the it girl, but
Ella Langley
Ella
might have.
Langley's the new one. But she's the elder statesman at this point.
And she had a few, Lainey Wilson had some little bit more than cameos in Yellowstone.
Oh, yeah, she did.
Yeah, she was good.
Okay, so her husband was in the league. I'm going to say she's 32.
Right in the middle, 34. 34.
Okay.
This is one that this is going to be a toss-up because we all love him. SNL Weekend Update. Michael Che.
Oh, he is so good.
I bet he's 38.
I'm going to say he's 40.
Not quite 43. Let me give you one more, but I think this is going to be really hard.
Okay.
Old school supermodel and singer played Zula in Conan the Destroyer, and Bond villain May Day in A View to a Kill.
No,
Grace
Jones.
This is a toughie.
That was the Bond with Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
Was the bad guy.
Yes.
Yeah, and there was a big
79.
Grace Jones is 84.
Heidi squeaks one out. She's 78.
Woo!
Well
That
done.
is your evening entertainment report here on the Big 550, KTRS St. Louis. 8 minutes before 6. Let's get one final check of traffic with Captain Paul.
Heidi, an accident on 70 West at the Blanchette Bridge has been cleared with traffic slow back to St. Charles Rock Road. A crash on 55 South before Bayless is off on the right shoulder. 64 East bogged down from McKnight to Big Bend. 64 West is a little slow in front of Forest Park. 44 West busy between the King Bridge and 5564. And in Illinois, 64 East is just a little slow from 111 to 157. This traffic report is brought to you by the Rockwood School District. Are you looking for a new part-time or full-time job opportunity? Consider Rockwood School District with openings for custodians, cafeteria workers, and groundskeepers with great benefits, competitive pay, and flexible hours. Apply online at rsdmo.org/jobs. That's rsdmo.org/jobs. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, 20 seconds on the clock. We asked 100 car shoppers, what's the best car dealership in St. Louis?
HW Kia.
Lowest prices on new Kias.
HW Kia.
Who gives you up to $4,000 more for your trade?
HW Kia.
Best service department.
HW Kia.
Best radio show in St. Louis.
That's Big D from HW Kia.
Survey says all 5 number 1 answers. Turns out there's no feud when the answer is always HW Kia. Right now, drive a brand new 2026 Kia K4 for just $199 a month on a 36-month lease. HW Kia's lenders are ready to help you get approved today. HW Kia in the heart of West County on Manchester Road. And remember, Big D wants to see ya in an HW Kia. Start now at hwkia.com. With approved credit, $34.95 to its 10,000 miles per year, no security deposit, plus tax, title, license, and admin fee expires 5/31/26.
Don't miss a day filled with fun and educational activities for the entire family at the Two Rivers Family Fishing Fair, Saturday, June 6th from 10 to 4 at Pierre Marquette State Park, just past Grafton, Illinois.
There's an amazing 4,000-gallon mobile aquarium on site with fish species found in the Illinois and Mississippi rivers. The kiddos could enjoy a catch-and-release bluegill pond, the one cast station where everyone wins a prize, and a bow fishing station where children can shoot moving targets. Appearances from Hall of Fame fisherman Jimmy Houston and Tim Garrity, the mountain man from Duck Dynasty. Live music throughout the day and food and drink available for purchase. Admission and parking are free, and no fishing license or fishing gear is needed.
That's the Two Rivers Family Fishing Fair, Saturday, June 6th at Pier Marquette State Park near Grafton. For more info, call 618-786-3323 or visit dnr.illinois.gov.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, let's wrap this Tuesday up with a couple randoms.
Listen to this. Roughly half of all the motels in the United States are owned by people of Indian descent. And supposedly, 1/3 of motels are owned by someone with the last name Patel.
Well, I will say the Patels owned the hotel in New Madrid.
Are you serious?
Swear.
So this article said dating back to the 1940s, Indian families made it a point. I guess they picked out their industry and they said, we're going to own roadside motels.
And they lived there and then ran the motel.
How about that?
And just throughout the years, when other family members would immigrate or whatever, they would buy up more and more hotels. Now they own half of all the motels in the U.S. Case in point, the New Madrid.
That's right.
Motel 6.
It wasn't a Motel 6.
What was it, Heidi?
What was it? I gotta think.
Holiday Inn, no.
Oh, no. This was one without a name that you would, you know.
They say that they started doing mom and pop stuff, but then they started gobbling up some of the franchises as well. Up until 2018, stores in Oklahoma were required to sell craft beer at room temperature. It couldn't be refrigerated. I'm thinking Big Beer.
Oh.
Has,
the craft.
Has a pipeline
to
the State House there. And then 96% of homes in the United States have a bottle of ketchup.
96.
Who's the other 4%?
Yeah.
And
they've come alive and realized fight big ketchup.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
And how many of those are in the refrigerator or the cabinet? We can discuss that tomorrow.
I bet 75% is fridge.
I bet it is too, but it doesn't need to be.
But it doesn't need it. That's right.
You guys, that does it for us. I hope you had as much fun as we did. Thanks for hanging out with us. Hopefully you'll meet us back here tomorrow starting at 3. And until then, see if you can put a smile on somebody's face.
It's all right. Bet your money all you like. It's all right.
When you want to send flowers to a loved one for a birthday, anniversary, or that special occasion, call your friends at Walter Knoll Florist. Walter Knoll is family-owned and operated and offers custom designs by expert designers. A huge inventory and selection that only the largest florist can offer, with quality and care that no grocery store florist can meet. They have several locations in the St. Louis metro area to serve you. Order online today at WKF.com. That's WKF.com. Walter Knoll Florist, your personal florist since 1883.
John Beal Roofing has been proudly serving homeowners and businesses in the St. Louis metro area on both sides of the river in Missouri and Illinois for over 3 generations. A dependable roof begins with a team you can count on, and that's exactly what you get with John Beal Roofing. Recognized as one of Roofing Contractor Magazine's top 100 roofing companies, John Beal Roofing offers 24/7 emergency service and industry-leading warranties, including a lifetime workmanship warranty for total peace of mind. From upgrading an aging roof or completing a full replacement, the team at John Beal Roofing delivers solutions that are built to code, built to last, and handled with expert care. John Beal also responds quickly with reliable storm damage services backed by decades of experience and 24/7 emergency support. Get started today for expert service and a free, no obligation estimate by calling 1-800-NEW-ROOF. That's 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
Staples presents Celebrations Made Easy.
I was throwing a party for the twins and had custom invites and a banner printed at Staples. And that's when I saw Party City is now at Staples.
Party City? No way!
Yep. So now Staples has all your printing needs and everything you need for a party.
Everything times 2.
Yeah, and now at Staples, save 40% on custom cards, photo gifts, wrapping paper, banners, and more.
Big news! Party City is now at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in-store, online, or on the app. In 613, exclusions apply.
Get everything you need for the entire job delivered. From lumber to drywall, flooring, and fixtures, get it all delivered from the Home Depot. With same day, next day, or any day delivery. staying on track and on time is crucial to your job. That's why it's our job to get you what you need when you need it. We deliver the supplies. You deliver the results. Brought to you by the Home Depot.
The Big 550.
KTRS St. Louis.
From ABC News, I'm Dave Packard. The Senate narrowly advanced an Iran war powers resolution this afternoon by a vote of 50 to 47. It's the first time the Senate's approved moving forward with the resolution after 7 previously failed votes. Republican Senator Bill Cassidy switched his vote after getting primaried over the weekend by a Trump-endorsed challenger. An extraordinary order from the Justice Department barring the IRS from investigating past actions of President Trump, his oldest sons, and their companies. It follows the Justice Department's new fund, $1.8 billion in taxpayer money to compensate Trump allies, potentially going to January 6 rioters who attacked police officers. On the Hill today, Senator Chris Van Hollen calling out Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche.
Yesterday, you created a $1.8 billion slush fund to dole out taxpayer dollars to the president's supporters, including those who attacked this Capitol on January 6th. That is pure theft of public funds.
The first polls closing in a critical primary night. Kentucky, Georgia, Alabama, Pennsylvania, Idaho, and Oregon are all in the spotlight. In Kentucky, President Trump wants to oust incumbent Republican Congressman Tom Massey, who he accuses of being disloyal.
Massey's closing argument to voters in Kentucky is that he best represents his district. He also points to money flowing into northern Kentucky from the GOP establishment from all across the country, particularly from supporters of Israel, all in favor of his opponent, former Navy SEAL Ed Galbraith.
ABC Stephen Portnoy. Authorities in San Diego are still trying to determine a motive for yesterday's shooting at an Islamic center. 2 teenage gunmen believed to have killed 3 people. The gunman later died from self-inflicted gunshot wounds. ABC's Alex Stone in San Diego.
We have learned from sources that they were recording and live streaming this event as well. Law enforcement is reviewing very graphic video that was posted to a Gore website.
The shooting being investigated as a hate crime. You're listening to ABC News.
I'm Steve Potter with KTRS News. After 33 years in prison for being convicted of first-degree murder, a Missouri appeals court judge today affirmed Christopher Dunn's exoneration. Eyewitnesses had recanted their testimony from Dunn's trial and admitted that they had lied. The FBI is being asked to investigate criminal allegations at the U.S. Postal Service Processing Center in St. Louis. Congresswoman Ann Wagner says the Madison County Sheriff informed her about suspected mail theft and check fraud there. Illinois State Representative Charlie Meyer recently passed a House resolution